Everyone, we welcome you out here to Clinton High School for high school football action this evening on WHOW-FM. This is Larry Dooling along with Cameron Mon, and we're getting sent for a big game here tonight, a big OCA conference game between our Clinton Maroons and the undefeated and state-ranked Redskins of Sullivan High School. The Redskins come into this ball game with a 6-0 record, undefeated so far in the year, and they're ranked in the state rankings in Class 3A, the same class that Clinton is in. They are ranked in a tie for 10th this week. I believe they were up to 9th last week, and although they won by just 1 point last week over Tuscola, they slipped a little bit to a tie for 10th this week. Cameron, the Redskins come in here with a very impressive record so far, as we said, undefeated, and their 5 first victories this year were pretty impressive, but they've stumbled just a little bit. Although they didn't lose last week, they played a winless Tuscola team and barely pulled it out at home by 1 point last week. What's the story? What happened last week? They were barely able to pull that one out.
Well, Larry, I talked to Jerry Lane this week, and he explained to me that quarterback Craig Yoder didn't play against Tuscola. Apparently he sprained an ankle against Monticello. He's warming up tonight. He looks like he'll play. He looks like he's hobbling a little bit to me tonight, but he's expected to play tonight. They had some other problems, too. The weather was a little bit of a factor. Coach Lane said. He said it took them out of their offense a little bit. They didn't quite get to do some of the things they want to do, and also just the fact that that the other team didn't have anything to lose. They came into the game 1-4. Coach Lane said they were fired up, ready to play. They had nothing to lose. They took some chances, and some things worked for them. And Sullivan, he said, was pretty lucky to escape with a win, actually.
I stand corrected. I thought Tuscola was winless, but you tell me they did have one victory on the year. The Maroons, in the meantime, playing here under really tough weather conditions with the rainfall that we had, some very heavy downpours at times during the course of the ball game last week here at home. We're able to hang on and hold off Central Catholic and win 15-12, and kind of a sigh of relief when we got to the end of that one. Maroons looked like they were dominating things up front in that ball game on both sides of the line of scrimmage. The line was doing very well and controlling the line of scrimmage, but Central got a couple of second half scores, one very late in the ball game, and had the ball again and was threatening when the interception by Adam Long held him off, and the Maroons escaped with the victory. That's a good win for the Maroons, although it was kind of shaky at the end, but still doesn't hurt the confidence, certainly going into this ball game against Sullivan.
Well, I think Clinton was. I think they felt good about themselves after the win last week. Another loss, and they might have been starting to question themselves a little bit, but they came out with a win, and even more importantly, a win in a close situation in a tight ball game at the end. So I got to think the confidence factor is up a little more for the Maroons this week. They had very good practices this week, very focused, no goofing around out there. I went and watched a couple of them, and the team appears ready tonight for the challenge. They know Sullivan's a good ball team. Sullivan's got a lot of skill people that can move the ball around, and the Maroons are going to just come out and, as Coach Brian Knudsen said, block, tackle, and execute the best they can and see what happens.
Weather-wise tonight, right now, although we just had a real light rain, I believe, a few minutes ago, things are holding off. I hesitate to say that we're going to have a clear night all night tonight. I was hoping for that last week, and then we had some real downpours. There is a threat of rain in the air, but temperature-wise, things are great for a high school football game here tonight. The temperature dipping now into the 60s a little bit, but very moderate, so bring a jacket. Maybe bring the umbrella along, because there is a chance we might get some rain here tonight, but hopefully nothing like what we had last week. And Cameron, as we look at the field, it held up very nicely after that rain last week. There was some standing water on it by the end of the game last week, but the field looks great again here tonight.
Yeah, you can't say enough about the job Mike Nunnery and his crew does on this field. I mean, this game looks like it's the first game of the season almost. I was talking to Mike. He explained to me all the terminology about taking care of the field. It went all over my head, but I can see it's a real nice job he does out there. And the one comment I heard was there was no mud last week, and it doesn't look like there will be this week.
All right, that's going to do it for now on our pregame show. We're going to take a break here and be back with more in just a little bit here from Clinton High School before Clinton versus Sullivan. Back with more in a moment.
What name comes to mind when you think about conservative investing? Which investment company do you think of when you want personal service? Where can you find people who really care about your financial well-being? When it comes to investing, there's only one name you need to know: Edward D. Jones and Company.
This game is a big one for both these teams. It has definite conference implications from the standpoint of the team that wins the conference gets an automatic berth in the playoffs, automatically goes into the playoffs, and there's still 3 teams in the running. These two, along with St. Teresa, still vying for the conference crown. So this is a big game. If the Maroons lose it, they're definitely out of the conference running.
Big implications conference-wise and the playoffs, like you said. And Clinton wins this game tonight. The conference picture ought to be really muddled.
We're about ready to get this one underway. Sullivan in their traveling white jerseys with the black pants, the red helmets, the Maroons in their home maroon uniforms trimmed in gold and white with the maroon helmets. And Sullivan set to kick this one off already. Leaf Walling booting the ball and booting it deep all the way back toward the goal line. And Carter slips and goes down in the end zone. It's a touchback. Boy, a whale of a leg on the Leaf Walling, who kicks it the 60 yards and a little bit more into the end zone for the touchback. So the Maroons will start 1st and 10 from their own 20.
Perhaps the best kickoff we've seen all season by any team.
Definitely.
He definitely got under that ball, and I don't think Carter was planning on running it back anyway, and when he slipped in the end zone, the ref immediately whistled him down.
Well, we have, at this point, fairly dry conditions out here for this ball game. So we'll see how the Maroons offense operates here on the home turf with the conditions they are right now. Out of the I formation, they'll run on 1st down. Parson will try the right side, finds a little bit of opening, and dives from the 20 to about the 24-yard line. A gain of 4 on the 1st down play. The offensive line given a great deal of credit last week by the Central Catholic coach, the way they dominated the Central Catholic defensive line, and they'll have to do it here again tonight against Sullivan if the Maroons have a chance to win this one here tonight. So far, the 1st down play nets in 4 yards, so 2nd and 6 coming up. The Maroons with Parson, of course, at the fullback spot behind quarterback Nate Sams, the sophomore quarterback. And the tailback is Josh Carter. Then a split backfield this time. Parson will get the call to the right side, and he's driven down after a 1-yard gain. Grabbed from behind and dropped by David Elder, who's a 6'3", 220-pound senior for Sullivan. A gain of 1, 3rd down and 5 coming up for the Maroons at their own 25-yard line.
I think Clinton wants to establish Matt Parson inside again tonight. It's no secret. It's been their plan all year, but particularly on a night when the rain's out like this, I think running in between the tackles is a very important thing.
Jesse Johns has just come onto the field, so Jesse, after missing the last 2 games, comes in and takes over at a tackle spot. And they may want to run behind him. We'll see. Misdirection, the ball's on the ground. Herzog goes back, picks it back up, and is dropped for a loss on the play. It was a missed handoff between Sams and Herzog. Herzog went back, picked up the ball, tried to run with it, but was tackled immediately and dropped for a loss of a good 8 yards on the play. And the missed handoff really cost the Maroons there. They're dropped for an 8-yard loss back inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. It's 4th down and 12, almost 13 for the Maroons. They'll have to punt the football.
I didn't think the exchange looked too terribly bad there. I'm sure the ball's a little slippery already. I'm sure the ground's going to play a big factor in the game tonight.
Wind is in the face of Ben Nichols as he stands at his own 5-yard line. So Sullivan expecting to get good field position. They bring a rush. Nichols gets a kick away, but look at the wind knock this one down. Near the 45. It might have been touched. It's loose on the ground. Scramble for the football. Who's going to get it? It's still loose. Who recovered the football? I believe Sullivan might have got it back. We'll wait and see. Nope, they're going to say nobody touched it. It was simply downed by the Maroons. Boy, looked very close to being touched. We've had that happen several times this year. Doug Hammer was the man who fell on top of it, but they simply say he downed it at the 48-yard line of the Maroons. So Sullivan will have good field position, start 1st and 10 from there.
I think we need to give Ben Nichols credit on that punt there. He actually spiraled the ball, which when you're going into the wind is the way to cut through the wind and get extra distance on it. And Ben had a nice job getting that punt, pretty decent punt there for Nichols.
Let's see if Yoder's in there at quarterback, I believe. No, he is not. The quick pitch it right. Got an opening on the right side, putting his head down and falling forward for a good 5 yards or so is Jason Moody from the tailback spot. The quarterback is Jason Wildman. Wildman 6'4", 200 pounds. Starts at, I believe, tight end most of the time, but has been running the controls at quarterback. They got 4 yards on the play, inside the 45 to about the 44-yard line. Sullivan with a big, strong offensive line. They'll send one wide receiver to the right side. That's Adam Gerchak. I formation. The tailback, as we mentioned, is Moody. Martin is the fullback. And they switch tailbacks, and the Maroons snuff it out at the line of scrimmage immediately. The ball carrier is Leaf Walling, who came in on that particular play at the tailback spot. And he's met immediately and stopped for a loss on the play of about a yard.
Tom Meyer doing the job all year on the defensive line there, and Matt Parson combined on the tackle on that play. Weren't fooled at all by the handoff.
3rd down and about a 7 to go for a 1st down coming up for Sullivan after that half-yard loss or so. Wide receivers both ways this time. To the left side is Tom Krigbrom, a junior, and out of the I formation. Back to pass. Flares it out here on the left side. It's complete. And inside the 30 down to about the 28-yard line. A completion made to the man on the backfield, Jason Moody, and he's got the 1st down. I tell you, I was thrown off a little bit by that play because I thought the fullback moved before the snap of the football, and I was looking for flags on the play, but we did not get it. And it's a completion from Wildman out of the backfield to Moody for the first down and more inside the 30-yard line to about the 28 of the Maroons, almost the 27, 1st and 10 for Sullivan. Wildman again under center. Big, tall quarterback. Showed a real good throwing touch on that one. He's going to option right. He's met and swarmed under. Had nowhere to go on that one. Somebody grabbed a hold of his shirt tail right away and held on. Nichols, Helton was there, and then got more help on the play from some others. And they snuffed that one out for a 2-yard loss immediately. Wildman back to the 30-yard line, 2nd and 12 for Sullivan.
With Wildman at the quarterback, Sullivan's offense changes a little bit. They're not going to be as efficient running the option, but he is a fine athlete. He's a very good basketball player. And he showed right on that last pass play that he has the gun to get the ball downfield. So look for Sullivan maybe throw the ball and stay a little more basic in their offensive schemes.
2nd and 12. He'll option left this time. Had a little opening, but it's cut down immediately, and very little gain on the play. Helton came up and jarred him and held on. And only about a 1, maybe almost 2-yard gain back to that original line of scrimmage, just short of the original line of scrimmage. They had 3rd down and about 10.5 to go for a first down. That option run by the quarterback not going anywhere so far for Sullivan. So watch him to put it in the air here. They completed one to the man out of the backfield, Moody, last time for the first down. Moody's out right now, though. And in at the tailback spot is Walling, Leaf Walling. Wildman will roll out right. Now pitches. They'll try to get around the right corner. The Maroons cut it back inside. Good cutback, though, and Walling's down to the 20-yard line. But he's still 2 or 3 yards short of the first down. Walling, a good ball carrier from the tailback spot. Might not have quite the speed that we've seen out of Moody so far, but he made a nice inside cut after the Maroons pursued it and forced him back inside. And he's about 3 yards short of the 4th down. 4-down territory here near the 21. It's 4th and 3.
Redskins will rotate their plays usually with Moody and Walling at that tailback position. Keep them both fresh. Very similar running backs. Moody might be a little bit more physical. Walling might be a little quicker, but very similar type tailbacks, and they'll rotate a lot tonight.
Wildman brings his Redskins up to the line of scrimmage. They've got another new tight end in the ball game on the right-hand side, Jed Chastain. They'll run it up the middle. A little bit of an opening. Moody diving forward. He's very close to the first down, but did he get it? The Maroon fans in front of us feel they've stopped him, but it's going to be very close, and we'll see what kind of spot he gets. He may have enough for a first down. They look it over, and they're going to give it to him. First down for Sullivan. He got the 3 yards needed. No measurement or anything. They immediately give him the first down. Coach Chuck Nagel and Brian Knutson, both the coaches, out on the field several yards, wanting him to at least measure it, but the official eyeballed it and said they got the first down. To the 17-yard line, first down for the Redskins. Well, the Maroons defense did a pretty good job on that run, but enough momentum carried it forward for the first down. So Sullivan on their opening drive, which started at the 48 of the Maroons, has moved it to the 17. Early in the first quarter of play, no score. We're getting near the halfway point of the first quarter. The Maroons were unable to get a first down in their first possession. Now on first down, they'll run again. Big opening on the right side, down to the 5-yard line and down to the 2-yard line as Adam Long makes the tackle on Leaf Walling as he breaks it all the way down to the 2. They overloaded that right side, and boy, did they have a hole on the right side. Walling burst through that hole and had an open hole all the way down to inside the 10-yard line before Long caught him from behind and ran him out of bounds near the 2.
Yeah, it looked like a little indecision on Sullivan's part right before that play started. They moved a tackle over there on the end right before the ball was snapped, and then just blew a pretty decent-sized hole open for Walling, and he got it down almost to the goal line. Nice tackle by Clinton defender there at the end to save the potential touchdown.
First and goal from near the 2.5-yard line. Wildman under center with the call. He'll give it to the second man. Moody will try the left side. He spins in the end zone. Touchdown, Sullivan. And the Redskins take a quick lead. He never went down as he was able to get across the goal line without being tackled. 6-0 in favor of Sullivan. The score comes here with 6 minutes and 18 seconds to go in the first quarter of play. Sullivan strikes first and takes a 6-0 lead.
Sullivan's offensive line again creating a hole, this time over the left side. They've been staying on the right side most of this game, but good size hole for Moody to run into, and he took advantage of it and was hardly touched.
Extra point attempt coming up. They'll try for the 1 extra point with the kick. Placement's down. The kick is definitely long enough, and it is through the uprights. It's good. We'll take time out here. 6:18 to go in the first quarter of play. Sullivan breaks on top. 7-0 over the Maroons. The kickoff coming up in just a moment.
Lewis, do you use a JTPA system to hire employees?
I sure do, Bill, and it's worked great for my company.
How's that?
Well, JTPA does all the pre-screening, testing, and evaluation. Saves me time and money, gives me more time to play golf.
How they work out for you?
They've been great, dependable workers.
You know, and I think it's a pretty good use of tax dollars, too, don't you?
I agree. Good shot.
To obtain the same quality workers for your business and receive financial incentives, call your area JTPA office.
Near the halfway point of the first quarter, Sullivan has struck first. They moved it in from 48 yards out, capped by a 2-yard run by Jason Moody, their tailback, and they lead 7-0 after the extra point kick. But the Maroons have been faced with this before in games earlier this year and have come back. They often go down by a touchdown early in a ball game, only to respond. We'll see how they do this time. Here's Walling's kick. Another pretty deep kick. That Parson will go back to the 1 and retrieve to the 5-10, coming up the middle, 15, 20-yard line, finds an opening, breaks it to the right side, got 2 men to beat, goes down at the 40-yard line. They were able to trip him up. Walling, the kickoff man, was the man that tripped him up before he got out to the 40-yard line. Good field position for the Maroons. They'll start 1st and 10 at their own 40.
Sometimes with those good deep kicks, the coverage doesn't have enough time to get down the field, and that appeared to be the case. Parson just followed the wedge right up the middle of the field and had a nice return and made a little cut toward the middle and almost beat the last guy he had to beat.
Well, see what the offense can do now in their second possession with the football. Young sophomore quarterback Nate Sams in there under center. He'll give it to the first man. Parson looking, putting his head down, bouncing off tacklers, but goes down at the line of scrimmage. No gain. He really was hitting against the attempted tacklers hard, but they bottled him up and fended him off before he could pick up really any yardage at all, and no gain on the play. 2nd down and 10 coming up.
Matt doing a nice job bouncing off that first tackle, but Sullivan's defense likes to swarm, and they had another defender by him, and Matt knocked himself a little bit off balance, too, after that first hit, and he was easy prey after that.
The running game has struggled a bit in the last few games, certainly the St. Teresa game. The passing game has had to carry him some. Here's the option. Sams will keep it, finds an opening up the middle. He's broken into clear. 40-yard line. Can he outrun Moody? He's taken off. We're going to come right back and score. Touchdown, Nate Sams. Takes it all the way on the option left, and the Maroons are right back in it. Holy cow, a 60-yard run by Nate Sams.
Unbelievable play by Nate Sams. Just a spectacular fake on the pitch. A very beautiful cut. He cut through 3 or 4 Sullivan defenders there, and he easily outraced the secondary. That's just an unbelievable athletic move by Nate Sams there.
He answers the touchdown by Sullivan only a minute and 2 seconds later. And the Maroons have a chance to tie this one up with the extra point. Jeremy Hinton on to boot it through the uprights. What a terrific run by Sams, and when he broke into clear, did you see him run away from Moody, who I thought was a quick man for Sullivan? Here's the kick by Hinton. Low line drive. It looks good from here. It is. We are tied. All right. We'll take a break here. 5:16 to go in the first quarter of play. We'll see if the defense can hold Sullivan now. We're tied at 7.
Things are happening on Mr. Lincoln Square in downtown Clinton. Take a look at all the new stores. Gathering Place, Cray's Ceramics and Gifts, Woodland Art Studio, as well as the familiar ones like Graves Stationaries, Buck Appliance, and Harris TV. Come downtown and fill all your needs, from appliances to cards to office supplies to clothing to insurance, pharmaceuticals, and that unique gift item. Shop downtown Clinton for fast, friendly service and competitive prices.
What a quick answer by the Maroons. We were just talking about the way they've come back before after giving an opening touchdown to the opponent. Boy, they came back in a hurry. Jeremy Hinton now with the kickoff for the Maroons from his 40-yard line with the wind in his face. Excuse me, that's the other kicker for the Maroons, and the knee is down as it's taken at about the 21-yard line. That was Quartz with the kickoff, Carl Quartz. Fielded at the 21-yard line, but the knee was down as the Sullivan player fielded that ball, so it's down immediately there here in high school play, and they'll spot it closer to the 22-yard line, 1st and 10 for Sullivan. And usually in these games prior this year also, after the Maroons have answered, although not this quickly usually, but sometimes, many times on the next possession, the defense has then rallied and done a pretty good job after that, quite often.
Yeah, it seems like Clinton's defense needs a series to get going, actually, and once they do, they make some adjustments there on the sidelines and tend to shut other people down.
Wildman in there at the quarterback spot, gets it off at just the last second. They got a running back in the clear, and Walling, still on his feet, is out to about the 40-yard line. Boy, we're going to have some action up and down the field here, aren't we? Wildman just got that ball off. Somebody had a hold of him and was throwing him to the ground, but Walling with the carry after getting the handoff found himself in the clear up the left side, got into the secondary, and before Herzog could catch up with him, he was out to the 40-yard line. About 18-yard pickup on the play and a first down for Sullivan.
Both Parson and Helton blitzing on that play, and they just got to Wildman a little bit late. He was able to get the ball off, like you said, and usually when that happens and no linebackers back there, it's free running for the back.
I formation behind Wildman. Short drop, wants to throw, under pressure, still faking, now throws it and overshoots his man. Boy, he pump faked about 3 times and then finally fired it out there, and he's got a nice throw, but overshot Tom Krigbaum, his intended receiver, going down the left side, who was cutting back in over the middle from his left side where he had lined up.
Again, Wildman, a very fine athlete. I guess if you had to make a comparison, he'd be like a Ben Nichols for the Maroons, about the same size, 6'3", 220.
Little more agile, possibly, though.
Well, I don't know about that, but he's just a fine athlete, and he's shown he has a good gun. Now, if he's going to be active or not remains to be seen tonight.
Not taking anything away from Ben, but he does look to me it'll be a little quicker on the feet, and that's why he's able to come in that quarterback spot. Quick pitch to the right side. There's a flag on the play. It gained about 5 yards, but that flag thrown in the vicinity of a block out front by Sullivan, and this one probably will come back. We'll wait and see.
I think they're going to get big tackle. I believe that's David Elder. Yeah, he's about 220 goes there.
Yeah, we were taking a good look at Elder there just a moment ago. Phil, our cameraman, picked up the penalty, obviously, because he focused right in on the big 75 for Sullivan. And that penalty will bring it back. It was about a 5-yard gain initially on the run by Leaf Walling. Boy, they got a couple of backs, so Walling there, that looks scary when they get that football. They look like they could just run away from you or simply make you miss them and then run away. And it's a little scary when they got the ball in their hands.
Well, I think the Redskins are going to be probably maybe the second fastest overall team the Maroons see this season. Actually, they may be the fastest at the skill positions, but I got to think St. Teresa and their quick lines might have a little bit more overall team speed, but Sullivan, their speed's going to create some problems tonight.
The 10-yard penalty marked off from where the infraction took place at the 45 pushes them back to the 35-yard line. So it's 2nd and 15 for the Redskins. One wide receiver to the right side, a man in the slot, on the left side, and the slot man is also on the left side. Misdirection. Oh, they're going to push him awfully deep. The short pass is intercepted. Josh Carter, he's at the 30-yard line. 25, 20, 15, 10, and out of bounds at the 8-yard line. He intercepts the pass by the man out of the backfield, Jed Chastain, who took the handoff, rolled out to the left side, and tried to throw in. He had Ben Nichols, I believe, in his face. Chastain did, and Nichols forced the bad pass, and Carter picked it off and runs it inside the 10, 1st and goal for the Maroons.
Yeah, Ben Nichols, just as much as responsible for that interception as Josh Carter, stayed at home, and that's his job as a defensive end there. Pushed the wide receiver, or pushed the back out. That was Chastain. Chastain, a little left-hander there. I'm sure Sullivan's run that play before, and Clinton looked like they had it scouted. Carter read it. Great run.
1st and goal from the 8. It's Parson trying the left side, fumble the football, and it's recovered on the 1 by Wildman, I believe, is Sullivan. Oh, that's the first time that I've seen that happen. Parson fumbling the football on a carry, and the Maroons lose the football in a great scoring situation here inside the 10-yard line. Sullivan has recovered. It looked like Jason Wildman, who is the quarterback on offense, who fell on that football right at the 1-yard line and has the recovery. And we also have a Maroon player who is injured on the play and is down near the line of scrimmage. Not sure who it is right at this point. Not even going to venture a guess. We'll just wait and see what the situation is. But he's being tended to out there in the field. So, boy, the crowd became awfully quiet here after being really up. The Maroons had gotten the interception. Carter had it down to the 8-yard line. It was 1st and goal from the 8. And on top of that, it looked like the Maroons were going to get it down to at least the 5-yard line in the run by Parson. But just as he was being tackled, the ball squirted loose, and Wildman fell on the ball at the 1-yard line. So Sullivan has thwarted the effort by the Maroons. And Doug Hammer was the injured player, but he jogs off to the sideline. He appears to be all right. So we're glad to see that. But now the Maroons defense has a chance to do something here. They've got Sullivan hemmed in at the 1-yard line when Sullivan takes over here. We're still tied at 7 apiece. We're down to 3 minutes and 45 seconds to go in our first quarter of play, and Sullivan will take over 99 yards away from pay dirt. Here's a big chance again for the defense. Wildman under center. Maroons bringing the blitz. Wildman hands it off. Little opening up the middle, and Walling gets it out to about the 4, maybe the 5-yard line. A gain of 3 or 4 yards on the play. We'll see how much forward progress he got. Helton was coming. You could see Helton from his linebacker spot wanting to charge through the hole and see if they could drop him inside that goal line for a safety. He's short of the 5-yard line, a gain of about 3, 2nd and 7 for the Redskins.
Quite a couple momentum swings there. It'll be interesting to see which team responds here more positively. Clinton's still in good shape. They've actually been moving Sullivan back. And let's see if they can capitalize on the Sullivan's poor positioning.
Flag on the play as Moody gets the call. He got a couple out to the 6. But I bet we had a procedure penalty. We're guessing here. But we'll wait and see. The way that flag was thrown behind their offensive line and their backfield, that's probably the case. And that is the call. Procedure penalty against Sullivan. So that'll push him back half the distance to the goal line. And they're still very deep. Unless, of course, the Maroons decline the penalty here. The run by Moody was only about a 1.5 yard gain out to the 6, so they might want to make it a 3rd and 5 or 6 situation here. I don't know.
I think you're only going to move them half the distance to the goal. It's not going to be a very long penalty. I think declining the penalty would be the move here.
Take the down, and that's what they do. So let's see where the line of scrimmage is exactly. It's just across the 5, not quite to the 6-yard line. 3rd down and at least 5 coming up. Wait till they move the stick up on the far sideline so we can see where exactly the ball is going to be placed. But I'm guessing it's at least 5, maybe 6. Looks more like 6 yards. They haven't. Yeah, here he goes. Now he's going to move the stick up. 3rd and 5.5, almost 6 yards to go for a first down at about their own 5-yard line, just across the 5-yard line. So a big opportunity here for the Maroons to force them to punt the football and get the ball back in good field position.
Clinton been doing a good job forcing these 3rd and long situations. Let's see again if they can capitalize here on defense.
Wildman waiting to snap from center. Has the football. Quick pitch right. They're going to try to get around the corner. They force it back inside, and he's out across the 10 and has a first down carry, it would appear, out to the 14-yard line. Leaf Walling on that quick pitch right was able to get it outside. The Maroons' pursuit was pretty good, but that's a tough one to cut down until after it gets a good 7 yards on the play and a first down. Matter of fact, it got a little bit more than that. It got almost 8 yards out to the 14-yard line. So Sullivan able to keep possession of the football. That's a big first down for their ball club.
Yeah, Sullivan uses that quick pitch very well with extraordinary speed, and looks like their linemen can move pretty well too, and that enables them to get a couple people out there in front of their back. The Maroons didn't do a bad job of stringing it out, but it was a tough play with that wide side of the field there.
Looks like they're running out of a power I formation this time. Again, they'll give it to the tailback, try in the middle, and got a couple of yards. Have to double check which one it was, if it was Moody or if it was Walling, the ball carrier, as they unravel down there. I believe it was Walling, but I'm not absolutely sure. Only a couple of yards on the play. 2nd down at 8. We're down to about 2 minutes to go in the first quarter of play. We're tied at 7 apiece. The Redskins scored first, took the possession after the Maroons were stopped on their first offensive possession. After a punt at the 48-yard line and moved it in, Moody capped it with a 2-yard run. They kicked the extra point, but on the first play from the line of scrimmage, or maybe second play from the line of scrimmage it was, Nate Sams went 60 yards and an option left for the tying touchdown after the extra point. Wildman hands it off again. This is Walling getting outside, ran around Adam Long. Now Bob Igens is going to have to try to catch him from behind. He's all the way out the midfield as Igens trips him up at the 50-yard line. They've got good quickness. Walling showing terrific quickness the way he ran outside and got around Adam Long. And Bob Igens, the young sophomore safety of the Maroons, was just that. He was the safety, had to make these saving tackles, so to speak, for the Maroons at midfield. So another first down for the Redskins.
Sullivan using a little staggered line there, like a tight end over there on the left side, just blasted a hole over the left side. Clinton will take a timeout and discuss some strategy about that.
Yeah, they're going to make some adjustments. So timeout on the field. We'll take timeout also. There's a minute and 34 seconds to go in the first quarter of play. We're tied at 7 apiece between the Maroons and the Redskins. Back with more in just a moment.
Watkins Jewelry, 600 West Side Square in Clinton, would like to invite you to visit their store and see for yourself their fine selection of gold jewelry, watches, clocks, and diamond jewelry. Give a gift that keeps on giving. Quality jewelry. Watkins Fine Repair Department will repair your worn or broken jewelry, watches, or clocks, modern or antique, while doing fine quality work at an affordable price. Visit Jerry, Marilyn, or Steve at Watkins Jewelry, 600 West Side Square in Clinton. House calls available for larger grandfather clocks. Call 217-935-4583.
Sullivan football, 1st and 10 at midfield. They botch up the handoff in the backfield, and they're still going to get a couple yards on it. I believe it was Walling who's able to force it out for 5 yards. The quarterback, Wildman, keep in mind he is a backup quarterback, collided with his running back on the handoff, but still good effort by the little running back, and that was not Walling. That was Shane Martin who was in there. Shane Martin was able to punch it out for about 5 yards or so on the play. We've got another injury on the field. 5-yard pickup, 2nd and 5 coming up for Sullivan, and it appears we have another injury for the Maroons on the field. Another lineman is down, so we'll wait and see who it is near the line of scrimmage. But again, being tended to here.
That's Frankie Russell going into the ball game, so that might be Doug Hammer on the ground. Frankie would be the backup nose tackle.
All right, we'll just keep an eye on it here. Did we lose our audio for a second here? I wonder why. I have no idea why. Everything looks good at this end right now. So, players still down on the field right now, being tended to. Why don't we take a break here and be back with more in just a moment.
And now from the home office in Clinton, Illinois, here are the top 10 reasons for shopping Dave's Food Basket. Number 10, people who...
All right, after a gain of 5, it's 2nd down and 5. Wildman will pitch it. They'll try to go around right side. There's a flag on the play, I believe. Well, I thought I saw a flag thrown. A gain of about 5 yards on the play. And we'll check and see. I think there was a flag thrown on the play. We'll double check it and see. Cameron, did you see, was there a flag?
Yeah, there is a flag on the play, and apparently it thrown from the air. Usually it's a offensive holding, and that's the call we're going to get. Looked like it was probably on the left side of the left offensive line for the Redskins. And again, Clinton had been helped by the Hankies here a little bit, and I'm certain they'll take that penalty and move them back and push them back to 2nd and long.
All right. So with the penalty on Sullivan, the ball is going to be marked back into Sullivan territory. They're going to be pushed all the way back to about their own, looks like the 45-yard line. 2nd down and 15 coming up. That's a big boost to the Maroons defense to be helped out by that. Frankie Russell's off the field. Did we see who the injury was to?
It was Doug Hammer, and apparently it looks like he's probably twisted his ankle a little bit. He seems to be hobbling on it. That's twice now he's come off the field hobbling on it. But I know, knowing Doug Hammer, he'll be out there every play he can be.
On 2nd and 15 now. Wildman fakes the handoff, back to pass with some pressure, floors it out there, catch is made on the run. What a nice catch and a first down to the 32-yard line. It's the 2nd time they've run that play to Jason Moody out of the backfield. And Moody makes a nice catch. And boy, you know, he's got to be worried about somebody giving him a real jarring tackle as that ball's coming into him, but it wasn't there. He was able to cradle it in, and once they made the tackle, he was all the way down to the 32-yard line for another first down for Sullivan. But you can bet the Maroons are going to make some adjustments on that play out of the backfield.
Yeah, I believe that was Kyle Bourne for Clinton that almost got in there on the sack. He had good penetration from the line. Wildman, nicely timed throw. Again, he hung it up a little bit, and it seemed like Moody might have got hit, but he managed to snake through the defense and catch the ball for a big gain. 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. They split the backfield this time. Long call by Wildman. Now he has the football, pitches it to the left side. They get a little opening, and Walling gets about 4 or 5 yards on the play as he's met by Meyer. And also over there was Helton to make the tackle on the play as they sandwiched him. About a 5-yard gain on the play for Walling. 2nd and 5 as they're inside the 30 now, down to almost the 27, 28-yard line, somewhere in that vicinity. Sullivan on a drive here. His time is running out in the first quarter play, and that is the last play of the first quarter. We'll take a timeout here. 7-7 tie between the Maroons and the Redskins after one period. Back with the second period in just a moment. To slow down this offensive attack of Sullivan, though, if they want a shot at winning this football game, I would think. Excuse me, the defense has been out on the field way too long tonight. Sullivan's run 19 offensive plays to the Maroons just 6. Of course, Clinton got the big touchdown run there, and they'll take that every time. But, 19 plays a quarter over a game is going to really wear down Clinton's defense. So they'd like to get the ball in offense, maybe control the clock for a while, move it up and down, and give the defense a little breather here.
A couple of big turnovers in this ball game. Also an interception by Josh Carter. They got the Maroons inside the 10-yard line with a 1st and goal, but the very next play, a fumble by Matt Parson, and the Maroons gave the ball back to Sullivan. They dodged a bullet where they could be trailing the Maroons. Here's a run, misdirection, and the Maroons are all over it. Boy, Parson was there, and of course Doug Scott was there also quickly to snuff out the running attempt by Shane Martin out of the backfield for Sullivan for a loss of a yard, I think. 3rd down and a good 6, almost 7 coming up for Sullivan now. They're at the Maroons. Let's see where they spot that football. 29-yard line, it looks like.
Again, the thing about Doug Scott is he's super quick in the first 5 yards. He's a big guy. He probably weighs about 240, 250. But he's got a really quick first step, and that enables him to do some things a lot of 240-pounders can't do, and made a nice play there for Clinton.
3rd and 7, big play here for the Maroons. Wildman, short drop, wants to throw, flushed out of the pocket, rolling out right. Now he'll throw it to the short man. Low pass, and it is incomplete. Maroons were diving there to make sure it wasn't caught. Adam Long on the defensive coverage did a good job, and they forced the short pass attempt to come up incomplete. 4th down now for the Redskins, and let's see what they decide to do. They're at the 29 of the Maroons with a 4th and 7. They're going to go for it.
Credit Adam Long's coverage in that play to the incomplete pass. He had a good read on that play. Looked like it might have originally started out as a post pattern, but the Sullivan receiver pulled up. Adam didn't bite, and Wildman had to just throw it away basically.
Watch the sweep here. They seem to run that pretty effectively to the wide side, which would be the right side. Wildman at the long call. Has a football. Now he's going to throw. Rolls back right, throws it back left. It's overshot, incomplete, and the Maroons had good coverage. Boy, was Tom Meyer on top of that one. Jason Moody was the intended receiver in the backfield out here in the left flat, and Meyer was going to make sure that he was going to put him on the ground if he caught that football, but it was well overthrown anyway by Wildman.
Sullivan actually would have lost yardage if they'd completed that pass to Moody. Tom Meyer was all over him. I think maybe Wildman actually threw that ball away, which would have been a very smart play on his part. Would have saved his team about 8-10 yards.
Yeah, Tom was there to pick it off if he had a shot at it. He really anticipated that very well. So the Maroons take over, and they'll start 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line. So the defense has risen to the occasion a bit here. They bent a little bit, but they didn't break. And so we're still tied at 7 apiece here early in quarter number 2 from the 29-yard line. Nate Sams, who's run for a touchdown in this ball game again. He had 2 last week, 1 this week for the Maroons only score. Gives it to Parson, and he's upended, flipped up in the air, and goes down on his nose after about a 2-yard gain at the 31-yard line. 2nd and 8 coming up for the Maroons. And everybody we play anymore, since about the 3rd or 4th game of the year, make sure they keep a close eye on Matt Parson. And Matt hasn't been able to ramble quite like he did early in the year, but still, if they concentrate on him, that's going to open up some other things, and that helps the Maroons offense.
Well, the Maroons they'd like Matt to touch the ball 20, 22 times a game. If they do, that means they're being successful running the ball. He's got 4 carries so far, but I'm sure they'll work him in some more here.
Parson, option right. Gets around the corner, now pitches. Nice pitch to Carter. He's still on his feet, and has a first down to the 46-yard line. Boy, that was a great pitch by Sams. He anticipated, waited the last second. He had already run the football up about the field about 4 yards, and then saw it was time and made a perfect pitch to Carter right in front of the Maroons bench. And Carter got an additional 10 yards on the play out to the 46-yard line. And that is very hard for a defense to defend, and it's a great offensive weapon for the Maroons.
Nate Sams deserves 100% credit for that. A superb athletic play by Nate again. He keeps running the option that way, and Sullivan's going to have a handful to stop tonight.
2 wide receivers to the right side. Sams wants to throw to one of them. Oh, he slipped, almost went down, but saves his balance. Still on his feet. Now he'll throw it over the middle. Nichols makes the catch at the midfield stripe, goes down immediately. That was kind of a strange play. He had Herzog going deep and Nichols going short over the middle, and I'm not sure who he was looking for. I think he might have been looking to go deep to Herzog. But he saw he was well covered. Then he about slipped and fell down, but with his hands saved his balance, didn't touch a knee on the ground, kept his composure, and then found Nichols over the middle for a 4-yard gain on the play.
Again, an incredibly heady play by Nate to the balance and the quickness he displayed, just keeping himself from falling down there, and then to keep his head and look for a secondary receiver, Nichols, there for the big pickup.
Parson for 2 up the middle into Sullivan territory to the 48-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down and about 4 for the Maroons. And 3rd down and 4, let's call it, at the 48-yard line of Sullivan. They've got to get it to the 44-yard line. We still have a lot of time to go, about 9:20 to go in the 3rd period of play. A tie score, 7-7. Helton's in there. He's wide to the left side. Herzog's wide to the right side. Nichols in there at the tight end on the right side of the line. They'll take the handoff the middle over the middle, and then the pass to Nichols is off his fingertips, incomplete, and that pass really was up nice and high for Ben, but he couldn't hang on to it. It was there.
Would have been a tough catch. Like I said, I'm sure the ball's a little slippery. Good throw by Nate there, and just got a little bit through through Ben's hands, and I'm sure that'll force a punting situation here with the wind at Clinton's back. They want to pin Sullivan back as far as they can.
Yeah, the Maroons do have the wind, which is coming out of the south to their back right now. Meyer comes in there at the last second to set up in the offensive line for this punt. Sullivan brought a couple men in there on the last one. At his own 40-yard line, Nichols ready to kick it. There's only 1 man deep for Sullivan awaiting this punt. Nichols gets the kick away. Nice high kick that will drive that man deep to about the 10-yard line. He'll try to get around the corner. Gets a block, cuts it upfield, 15-yard line to the 20, about the 19-yard line before he goes down. The return made by Mike England, a 5'5", 140-pound senior for Sullivan, to about the 19, almost the 20-yard line, about a 10-yard run back. 1st and 10 now for the Redskins. Maroons didn't get them pinned in quite as deep as they would have liked to, I'm sure.
No, but Chad Herzog, and he didn't make the tackle, but what he did was he forced the punt returner to swing around outside a little bit, and that he just got down so fast, he allowed the and forced the returner around that he didn't really get the momentum he could have possibly gotten, and the coverage eventually caught up to him.
1st and 10 for Sullivan at their own 20-yard line. Wildman in their quarterback, I formation behind him. You go to the 2nd man. Maroons swarming under immediately, and they'll put him down this time. That time, Leith Walling could not go anywhere. Somebody forced it back inside, and it shut things down very, very quickly. Looks like Doug Scott, the first man, or the last man off that pile, at the bottom of that pile. And Kyle Bourne giving credit also on the tackle on the play. About a half-yard loss on the play. It's 2nd down, and a good 10 to go for a 1st down at the 20-yard line for the Redskins.
Clinton's been fairly effective here on 1st and 2nd down and keeping Sullivan to minimal gains and forcing some 3rd and longs. And the Redskins have proven the ability to convert some of these 3rd and longs.
On 2nd and 10, Maroons come with the blitz. Wildman gets the handoff, and they got a little opening up the middle, and a quick gain of 10 yards on the play for Shane Martin. The Maroons shooting those gaps, but Martin was able to squeak through there and find an opening and get a 1st down out to the 31-yard line, an 11-yard pickup for the Skins.
Martin looks similar back to, I guess, Matt Parson, maybe with a little more speed. He's not a very big back, but he certainly runs very tough and low to the ground and made a nice pickup there again. Clinton caught on the blitz, and if they can break that initial line of scrimmage when your 2 linebackers are blitzing, you're going to get into the secondary with your running back.
Wide receivers both ways. I formation for the Redskins. Long call by Wildman. He'll give it to the tailback and hit right at the line of scrimmage. It goes down immediately. It was Matt Parson who hit him at the ankles and put him down. He might have fallen forward for a yard, but very little gain on the play, and the Redskins will have another 2nd and long coming up, probably about 10 yards to go for a first down once again.
Andy Curley on that play got into the backfield a little bit and tied up 2 blockers for Sullivan, and that enabled the linebackers free up for Clinton, and they made the play there.
Andy's played very well all year, both sides of the line of scrimmage for the Maroons. A 270-pound senior. Really clogs things up and does a great job for the Maroons. On 2nd and 10. Wildman again out of the I formation. He'll option left. Pitches at the last second. Trying to get around the corners. Moody got a block out front. Coming up is Adam Long. Grabs him around the ankles. Gets some help from Bob Igens. And there's a late hit by the Maroons and a penalty coming up. Somebody jumped on top late and made the hit. And although the Maroons look like they had it swarmed under for about a 2 or only 3-yard gain on the play, they're going to be penalized here for an unsportsmanlike conduct, it would appear.
I believe it's going to be on Kyle Bourne. I don't think that was an intentional hit. I think what happened, it looked like the running back was still up, but he was actually down. I think he might have been sitting down on the ground.
He was up for a while.
It looked like he was up, and Kyle just reacted to the ball. No one's upset on the Clinton sideline. It's a good call. Just an unfortunate thing, I think, for the Maroons.
No, you cannot criticize the effort. You know, you want to make sure you make the play and not just let the guy get away, and he just got caught. Got caught there after the guy actually was down, thinking he needed to make sure he was down. So as it stands, it's a penalty against the Maroons. 49-yard line of Sullivan for the Redskins. Again, they've got another drive going here. The Maroons are tied with the Redskins 7-7. Number 10-ranked team in the state in 3A, the Redskins. Here's a quick pass out there. Completion made. And Herzog goes down trying to make the tackle. Igens comes up and catches him from behind. Boy, Herzog had his hands full with Tom Kringbaum that time. He slipped as Kringbaum made his curl out. And the pass completion made, and then Herzog slipped again as Kringbaum made a fake after he made the catch. And it was good for a first down inside the 40-yard line down to about the 36-yard line for the Redskins. About a 14-yard pickup, make it 15-yard pickup and a first down.
Just a little simple down and just a curl, basically is what it was. And Wildman showing the arm to get the ball out there.
Wildman can throw. He can throw a pretty football. He'll give the handoff at the middle, and no gain on that play. I didn't catch who the ball carrier was. Martin. All right. Martin was the ball carrier. Parson made the tackle. No gain. They're not getting a lot on their first down plays quite often on this drive, with the exception of that last one just a moment ago. But they come up with the plays on 2nd and 3rd down when they need to. They keep the drive alive. The Maroons defense has been bending some in this ball game, but not breaking. What was that? What was that, cameraman? I looked up and I thought you were shooting a UFO in the sky or something. I didn't know what that was. Split backfield, 2nd and 10. Wildman hands it off once again, and the Maroons cover it pretty good this time as Walling goes spinning into the middle. He's tripped up and goes down after only about a 2-yard gain. And we're going to timeout taken here for a moment. Sullivan's going to take a timeout. They're having a little trouble with the Maroons defense, so they're going to burn a timeout. Fans are on their feet, some of them, and some of them certainly showing support for the Maroons. About 5:40 to go in the second quarter of play. 7-7 tie. Back with more now for the Redskins. They're at the 35-yard line, almost the 34, the Maroons, with 3rd and 8. Wildman under center, has the football. Goes to the second man. Walling trying to right side. He's caught, and he'll be stopped about the 30-yard line. A good 4 yards short of the first down, but Sullivan in 4-down territory. We'll have a 4th down and about 4 or 5 to go for a first down, and I'm sure they're going to go for it here. At least I'm relatively sure.
Yeah, I'm sure with that play that they're actually saying we're going for it. We consider it 2-down territory. We're going to hopefully get half the distance on this play. Looks like they didn't even quite get that. Looks like a favorable spot for Clinton. Might be about it's going to be a long 4 for him, maybe 5 yards.
Yeah, closer to 5 yards. 4th and 5, we'll call it.
Clinton defense has come to the occasion once already in the 4th down. Let's see if they can do the same thing here.
Wide receivers both ways. The man to the right side is Gerchek. And to the near side of the field is Kringbaum. And Wildman short drop, looking for Kringbaum. Has the completion, but it's off the hands. He had it right in the hands of him, but he dropped the football. Maroons had pretty good coverage on the play, but he went out just far enough to get the first down and really looked like he had it in his hands, but couldn't hang on to it. It goes incomplete, and the Maroons will take over.
Looked like a fine pass and a possible completion for the first down there, but Kringbaum just dropped the ball, apparently. Maybe he heard some footsteps. And let's see if the Clinton offense can get going here and keep some of those defenders on the sidelines here, give them a little bit of rest.
All right, let's see if the Maroons offense can put another touchdown on the board. Nate Sams ran 60 yards for a touchdown in the first quarter play. He'll fake the handoff. Wind to throw, looking for Nichols out here. He's got the completion at the 50. Cut from behind by the only man who was in the vicinity to make the tackle, Kringbaum, who makes the tackle at the 46-yard line of Sullivan. That's a first down play. Ben, I think, kind of making up for that one that went through his hands down here a little bit earlier. The pass over the middle, caught that one on the run. A perfectly thrown ball by Nate Sams. A great catch and run by Nichols, and the Maroons strike quickly, moving into Sullivan territory in their first play.
Sullivan runs a 4-4 defense, so they're only going to have one safety. And I think the Clinton coaching staff would like to take advantage of that and get Ben out in the middle of the field, 20 yards deep.
Option right, Sams with the football. He dusted off one man and keeps the football and gets 5, 6, 7 yards on the play. Somebody had a hold of him, and really it didn't look like Nate had to make a great effort to just brush that guy away and continue. They are so worried about him pitching the football that I think that gives him an opportunity to really break away from some people. And his athletic skill, of course, having something to do with that also. About 7-yard gain on the play.
I agree with you, Larry. It does appear Sullivan's a little more worried about the pitch out, and that's a little surprising because Nate's shown the ability to break open long touchdowns, and he's also shown the ability to make smart headsy moves and not force the ball.
He's one of the area leaders in scoring points because of those option runs that he has made. Here's Parson, tripped up the line of scrimmage immediately and going nowhere. A good low tackle made by Jed Chasteen of Sullivan. He's a junior, 170-pound junior, who tripped him up near the line of scrimmage. As always, Parson tries to fall forward to get some yardage, and he might have got about a yard on the play. The Maroons are to the 38-yard line of Sullivan with a 3rd down and 2. Lots of time on the clock. Not gods and gauds, but plenty of time. 3:32 to go before halftime.
Again, I think Clinton's probably in 4-down territory here, too, so they might go conservative this play.
Well, Nate Sams under center, trying to draw him off sides, I bet, here, and he'll take a timeout. Trying to draw him across to get the automatic first down. Didn't get it done, so they'll use a timeout. We'll use one also. 3rd down and 2 situation coming up for the Maroons. A tie ball game, 7-7. Back with more in just a moment.
Walker Tire and Muffler Service offers complete on-the-farm tire service, complete exhaust system, and custom work. They have computerized alignment and a large selection of shocks and batteries. Please invite Walker Tire and Muffler Service to your next flat. Open 6 days a week for your convenience. Located at 400 Illini Drive.
This is always fun to do. We've got a bunch of cars lined up along the fence, and I don't know how many people are sitting in the cars over there along the fence over there, but if you're listening to the radio watching the game right now, give us a little flash with your headlights for a second there. Anybody? Oh, hey, all right, there's one. Anybody else watching and listening to the radio right now? There are 2. All right, good deal. The rest of you are apparently got out of your cars and came up here. 3rd down and 2. Sam's back to pass. Looking over the middle, flushed out of the pocket, rolling out left, slips and goes down. Oh, dear. He slips and goes down, and a loss of about 6 yards on the play, so that'll be 4th down and long. He was looking for somebody out there in the left flat or over the middle. Helton was out in that vicinity, but Ben kept going deeper. I don't know if he's looking for somebody else, but it didn't work out. And now that takes him out of that 4-down territory. I think they're going to have to punt the football.
Yeah, an unfortunate play, and actually Sullivan got a little lucky there. They came pretty close to getting a late hit because after Nate had fallen down, one of the linemen fell on him, but apparently he tried to lay it up right at the very end, so I think the ref let that one go. But it could have been an unfortunate mistake for the Redskins.
Nichols on to punt the football. Has the snap. Gets it's blocked. The kick is blocked. And Sullivan might get the recovery, and they do so. The man who made the block also recovers the football. It's Adam Elder. Adam Elder made the block and also recovers the football at the 41-yard line. A big play for the Redskins in this tie football game. They've got the ball back in Maroon territory at the 41-yard line.
Just a wonderful play by Adam Elder. There's not much more you can say about that. He made a spectacular effort and just dove headlong for that ball and got all ball. Didn't really get much of Ben Nichols there.
2.5.
He actually was heads up enough to spot the ball and recover it. And let's see if Clinton's defense can rise to the occasion here. They're going to need a big series right now.
They got to do it again. One lone back in the backfield, a passing offensive formation it looks like here. Wildman still in at quarterback. Drops straight back. Got plenty of receivers out there to throw to and lost it out there over the head of his intended receiver out of the backfield. Leaf Walling incomplete near the 20-yard line. He overshot his intended receiver on that play, and Tom Meyer had coverage on Walling out of the backfield from his end spot. 2nd and 10 coming up. Line of scrimmage, the 41-yard line, and we're under 2.5 minutes to go, down to 2:11 to go in the second quarter play in a tie ball game, 7-7.
Yeah, Wildman had some time there, but again, good coverage by Tom Meyer. He had a man open, but it would have been a nice catch and throw there, and Wildman just put it out a little too far for him, and he couldn't reach it. Might be that he's a little rusty this season. Hadn't played a whole lot at quarterback.
3 wide receivers, 1 lone man in the backfield, and Wildman back to pass again. Fires it over the middle. Ooh, he threw that one way too deep. Good coverage by the Maroons' Adam Long on the intended receiver that time, Adam Gerchek. Overshot him by a good 5, 6, 7, 8 yards, and it goes incomplete. 3rd down and 10 for Sullivan. They, so far, not taking advantage of this block punt that they got from Adam Elder, the 5'7", 145-pound junior who made the block on Ben Nichols' punt attempt.
Let's give Clinton's defensive secondary some credit there, because Wildman has had a little time to throw the ball, and the receivers have been shadowed for the most part tonight. So good job by the secondary, Long, Herzog, Carter, and Igems for the Maroons.
3 wide receivers again. 2 to the right side, 1 to the left side. Wildman dropping back, rolling out right a little bit, fires it over the middle. He's got 2 men there. It's off the hand of 1 man. I think might got crossed up a little bit. They had 2 guys basically in the same vicinity, and Adam Gerchek stuck up his hand to hit his right hand and bounced off his side of his helmet or something, his shoulder pad, and dropped to the ground incomplete. 4th down coming up.
The way Gerchek reacted to the ball, he reacted very late. I got to think he was running the wrong pattern and wasn't expecting the ball his way at all.
Looked surprised on the play. And 4th down coming up. It appears Sullivan's going to drop back in punting formation. We'll see here.
That would be the wise move here on a 4th and long. With I'm assuming there's still time for Clinton to move the ball.
There's 2 minutes, exactly 2 minutes ago.
They're going to. Wildman's a pretty decent punter here.
I'll give you the 2-minute warning. How's that? Standing at his own 47-yard line, awaiting snap from center. Maroons are setting up a return, it looks like. Wildman will punt the football. Ooh, low kick, and the Maroons will get away from it. It'll roll inside the 15-yard line down to about the 12-yard line, where Sullivan will down the football. And the Maroons offense, with less than 2 minutes to go, will take over again in a tie ball game, 7-7. Been a terrific matchup between these 2 teams. We were hoping that it would be a close matchup between these 2 teams. We had concerns about Sullivan coming in here, but we knew we had a good football team too. And so far, it's been a standoff, 7-7.
Everything pointed to a well-contested game. Both teams, some of their strengths match up with their weaknesses, and some strengths match up with strengths. So it figured to be an intriguing game at the very least.
Maroons need to stay away from a turnover here. And ooh, there almost is a turnover. A quick pop over the middle intended for Nichols and one of the linemen. And it appeared to be Big David Elder, who we pointed out earlier. He's 6'3", 220. He stuck his hands up and knocked it down and almost had a chance to pick that one off once he deflected it into the air.
Yeah, Elder's a ton in that interior for the Redskins, and he's a big part of their run defense success.
Brings up a 2nd down and 10. The ball's at the 12-yard line for the Maroons, their own 10. And we would imagine they'd be a little conservative here. Of course, that 1st down pass play stopped the clock with 1:37 to go before halftime. They will run, and nothing there on the 2nd down play. Parson, I don't know if he even got back to the line of scrimmage. I don't think he did. They'll probably lose a yard or 2 on that particular play. So 3rd down and 12 coming up. The clock will be stopped now. I was going to say it was running, but will be stopped now as Sullivan will take a timeout here. Well, the way it started out, Cameron, Sullivan scored immediately on their first possession. They stopped the Maroons' offense, moved the ball after they took over at their own at the Maroon 48-yard line, moved it in pretty quickly and got the score on Moody's run. And at that point, you had to think, although we had seen this happen to the Maroons before and we knew the Maroons could bounce back, but right after that touchdown, you had to wonder how many points is Sullivan going to be able to score tonight. And they haven't given up any points since then. They've moved the ball on the Maroons some, but the defense has done the job and kept them off the board the rest of the way.
Yeah, I've only seen maybe about 15, 16 Clinton High School football games in my life, but it seems like they give that first touchdown up in that series. The offense comes back and answers, and then everything's adjusted after that. They might as well just start the scoreboard up 7-7. It seems like a lot of times, but give credit to both units for the Maroons. The defense has played a little more solid since that 49-yard drive, and the offense has been able to move the ball a little bit too here. Although this will be a big play for them right now. 3rd and 12 deep in their own territory. You don't want to do anything too foolish or risky here. I suspect it'll be a fairly conservative play.
From the 10-yard line, their own 10, the Maroons fake the handoff. He's going to throw it out here in the flat for Helton, but overshot him. He was flaring out there toward the far sideline, in the clear for a moment, covered by Adam Elder, but overshot on the pass. So it comes up incomplete. So that'll force the Maroons to punt from their own end zone. Of course, keep in mind, Nichols was just blocked on his last punt attempt by Elder. We still have over 1 minute and 10 seconds to go before we're at halftime with a 7-7 tie. So Sullivan's going to get the ball back in good field position, it would appear. Hopefully it'll be out closer to midfield.
You got to figure Adam Elder's going to get hit on this play right here, as I'm sure the Clintons made some adjustments. Hopefully Ben can use that wind, get a good punt out of his end zone.
Low snap, it's fumbled. He picks it up. It is partially blocked. It's in the air. Got out there somehow and will continue to roll. Maybe it wasn't partially blocked. It was kicked up in the air. And a Sullivan player finally dives on it after a Clinton player tried to jump on that football out beyond the 25-yard line. That snap was low. Ben fumbled it a bit, finally picked it up and got the kick away. I thought maybe they got a hand on it, but it did carry out about 15 yards away and then rolled in favor of the Maroons, and players were shoving each other around, and finally one of the Maroons tried to jump on the football, and I think they're going to say that's where it was downed, actually where it was touched by one of the Maroons at the 23-yard line. So Sullivan's got great field position, not a lot of time to work with it, but they've got great field position, and the clock is running. The clock is running down to a minute. 1 minute to go in the first half, a 7-7 tie. They'll run out of the I formation. There seems to be a little confusion on their part, but they're set now. Wildman with the football. Rolling out right, looking for a receiver, under pressure, throws it up for grabs, and it is complete at the 15-yard line. A good solid tackle after the catch is made. Caught out there in the right flat by Adam Gerchek and immediately hit by Herzog and shoved him out of bounds, which will stop the clock near the first down marker. Stops the clock with 43 seconds to go in this first half of play at the 15-yard line, and it is a first down also. First down.
I see Scott has moved over to the nose tackle for the Maroons, so I got to think Hammer might be hurting a little bit more than we know, and that could affect the punt snapping for Clinton. Hammer's the starting snapper.
Wildman throws it up for grabs in the end zone. It's caught near the goal line, and it is a touchdown. It is a touchdown for Sullivan. The Maroons had good defense on the play, but Gerchek came up with the football, I believe, and made the catch. Right at the goal line, just across the goal line, took it away. Adam Long tried to come over the back, I believe it was, and tried to take it away. That's a big score for Sullivan just before we get to halftime. It comes with 38 seconds to go before we reach halftime, and Sullivan has regained the lead. They lead now 13-7 over the Maroons. Extra point attempt coming up. That's a 15-yard pass play for the touchdown from Wildman to Gerchek. Extra point attempt. Placement down. The kick is on the way. Looks good from here. Plenty of distance. It is good. They'll have to kick it off to the Maroons before we complete this first half of play, but Sullivan has regained the lead over the Maroons. 14-7 is our score. Back with the kickoff in just a moment.
Kaiser's Department Store and Office Supply will be opening soon on Mr. Lincoln Square in Clinton. A family-owned business, Kaiser's has been serving our customers since 1944. Located on the square next to the Maverick Steakhouse, Kaiser's Office Supply Department offers a complete line of office furniture and supplies with competitive prices to fit every business need. Fast, free, next-day delivery is available on over 20,000 items. National brand fashions can be found at Kaiser's with everyday value pricing. Fashion clothing for ladies, men, and children by Alfred Dunner, Woolrich, Corrette, Hager, Levi, Starter, Nike, and Carter's are just a few brands available. If you're looking for quality, service, and selection, come to Kaiser's, where our associates enjoy helping our customers find that special gift or outfit for that special event. Kaiser's, supporting high school athletics since 1944. Coming soon to Clinton.
The Clinton fans are on their feet again, trying to encourage the Maroons, who have played Sullivan very close in this first half of play, but now they trail by 7, 14-7 after the 15-yard touchdown pass. Wildman to Gerchek has given Sullivan the 14-7 lead. They'll kick it off to the Maroons. And I would imagine he'll try to either kick it through the end zone or probably just a low-line drive kick, and that's what it is. Low-line drive. Adam Long knocks it down, picks it back up. Now don't cough it back up, Adam. Adam will try to bring it back up the field. Good run. Breaks into the clear, but then is brought down at about the 33-yard line. Runs some time off the clock. We're down to 30 seconds to go in the half. Maroons will have the football. So from their own 34-yard line, they'll call it. 1st and 10 for the Maroons. So what do we do with 30 seconds remaining? Do we play it safe or what?
I don't know. I think I'd play it safe going down 14-7. I don't know. Brian Knutson's come up with some very creative plays, and I got to think that the little hitch and lateral play has been scouted by Sullivan. It looks like they got defensive backs all over deep, so.
They're going to throw. Sam's rolling out under a lot of pressure. Is sacked on the play. Back to the 21-yard line. Good pursuit, and they drop him for a loss all the way back to the 21-yard line. The first man that was giving him chase was David Elder, and then finally coming up to make the tackle was Jed Chasteen. They tackle him, of course, well on the playing field, and that'll run out the clock. So it doesn't hurt anything. We're at halftime. 14-7, the Redskins lead the Maroons, both sides of the field as far as the fans go, showing their approval of this first half of play. We'll come back and recap it for you in just a moment.
Have declining interest rates forced you to take a pay cut? From 1990 to 1992, interest rates on 6-month CDs fell from 8% to less than 4%, cutting investors' income by more than half. Let Edward D. Jones & Company show you a variety of investments that offer a high degree of safety, attractive yields, and income that can increase over time. If you're ready for a raise, call Edward D. Jones & Company today.
Our senior profile tonight is highlighting Maroon football player Josh Carter. Josh is being sponsored by Dan's Welding. Number 35, Josh Carter, is 5'10", 165 pounds. As a defensive strong safety and offensive tailback, Josh is a quick thinker on the field and has a keen sense for the openings during plays. He's a shrewd runner and a tough hitter. Once again this year, Josh has secured a starting position. He's having a lot of success this season because he's a player who's always got his head in the game. Clinton High School football head coach Chuck Nagel says Josh's strength this year is in his experience and speed on the field.
Josh Carter was a starter last year, returning starter. Josh is also a senior. He plays strong safety for us. Pretty decent-sized kid. Some speed there, and he'll also run tailback. He'll run some offense.
Keep fighting, Josh, and enjoy your final season as a senior football player for the Clinton Maroons.
14-7. The Sullivan Redskins lead the Clinton Maroons here at halftime. That's our score and our situation here. Who's the photographer here tonight? What happened to the regular guy? Is this the prognosticator extraordinaire that's taking over tonight, Cameron?
Larry, I think you need to bow to Tina Polly over here. She is in first place.
I bow down before you.
And she's been real gracious about it at work. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I think she'll probably be the newest sports editor here before long if I don't start picking it up soon.
Does that mean she gets to do color on the games then? Well, yeah. All right. Tina, thanks for stopping. Is she taking pictures tonight? Is that what she's doing?
If she wants to try, she can. I think I better go down there and do it. I don't think she has a lot of sports photography experience. Not that all of mine has made any difference. But
yeah, if she's going to take over as sports editor, she better get some experience. So tonight's a good night to start. We're at 14-7. Sullivan leading the Maroons on the scoreboard here at halftime. And we'll take a look at the statistics right now. Sullivan has certainly moved the ball up and down the field, although they just had the 2 touchdowns to show for it. And they had to squeeze that second one in there right before halftime. After getting the short punt. Actually, it's been the special teams play that's made the difference for them here, giving them the lead with a block punt and then pushing the Maroons back deep in their own territory and forcing them into another short punt. Partially blocked that second one that set up the touchdown.
Yeah, real quick on that. Doug Hammer is the long snapper for the Maroons, and he's been on the sidelines here. Apparently, he's done something to his ankle. I didn't think either snap was bad. I haven't been paying attention to who was his backup snap.
The second one was
a little low, but I think it was catchable. I don't want to blame anyone on that. I think Ben just may have dropped it. The ball may have been a little slippery. But, yeah, I think, that's, you don't think about the punt snapper too often, but he could be a difference tonight if Clinton has to go to their second guy. And hopefully they can eliminate any more special teams problems and get going on the board. Let's quickly run through the stats. We'll start with Sullivan first, since they've had about double the amount of offensive plays as the Maroons. I got Moody with 6 carries for 15 yards. Walling's had a big night. He's had several big runs of 16, 19, and 37 yards. And he's totaled 97 on just 10 carries. Wildman's kept the ball twice. He doesn't have any yards. And then Shane Martin, the fullback's had 3 carries for about 17 yards. Sullivan's put the ball in the air a lot tonight, a little bit surprising. They only threw it 5 times last week against Tuscola. If Yoder's in there, they tend to throw it about 10 to 15 times a game. But they've already thrown it 12 times, and Wildman's been successful on 5 of those for 71 yards through the air, and he spread it out pretty good. Moody's got 2 catches for 37 yards. I believe that's Craig Baum with 1 catch for 14 yards. And then Gerchek has the other 2 catches for 20 yards. For the Maroons, they haven't had the ball on offense as much as Sullivan, and they've struggled a little bit, save for Sam's long run. Matt Parsons, 7 carries, 9 yards, and Clinton certainly would like to get him a little bit more involved in the offense in the second half. Chad Herzog, that 1 carry where the ball was botched, tough to tell if it was a bad handoff or probably a wet ball is what I'm thinking. Negative 8 yards. Sams has 4 carries, 48 yards, including the 60-yard touchdown run in the first period that answered Sullivan's first score. Josh Carter, 1 carry for 15 yards. A nice little option pitch he took. Sam's thrown the ball 5 times tonight, completed 2, both to Ben Nichols for 28 yards. And that about runs it down. Clinton with 1 penalty for 15 yards and Sullivan with 3 penalties for 25 yards.
Key play in the first half. A couple of key plays in the first half that, as it turned out, really didn't amount to any scoring directly, but I thought were key plays. And that was after we had tied it back up, Sullivan had the football. Maroons put intense pressure on the man, Jed Chastain, who got the handoff and was coming around and wanted to throw the football. Ben Nichols was in his face, we believe it was, forced him to throw a pass that was short of his intended receiver, and Josh Carter was able to intercept the ball and run it all the way down to the 8-yard line. Big play for the Maroons. They had come back and tied it up, and now they were knocking at the door to take the lead in the ball game, and they were set up for a score, it looked like. But on the very next play, they coughed up the football, and that doesn't happen too often, but the ball was fumbled by Parson on a run. He had it down to about the 5 or 4-yard line. Looked like the Maroons were still in good shape, but it squirted loose, and their quarterback on offense, Wildman, who's in there defensively, made the recovery at the 1-yard line. Then they were able to punch it out of there and get it away from any danger. That was a couple of big plays in the ball game, and although it didn't amount to points for either team directly, it kept the Maroons off the board, as it turned out, with the fumble, and has contributed to the fact that they are trailing here by 7 points at halftime.
Yeah, so far, really, the Sullivan has won the battle with field position, turnovers, and they've been a little bit more productive moving into the win too. It seems like Clinton had a little trouble with that too, although 2 of the 3 touchdowns tonight have been scored into that win, so don't know how much of a factor that's going to be. You know, it's tough. It's easy to look back and say, God, I wish Matt Parson had not fumbled that ball, but I really don't think that series had any bearing, because it was several series later before Sullivan was able to punch the ball in, and it was actually due more to their special teams. The block punt, which really set the tone for pushing Clinton back a little bit. And then the second time, where it looked like Ben maybe mishandled the snap a little bit. Snap was a little low. Would have been a tough snap to handle. And he got the punt. Good job by Ben to get the punt off. Could have easily been a safety. And then Sullivan just had a couple good passes to the right corner, and they punched in that touchdown late in the half. So Clinton's job here in the second half is to just forget the first half. They got to play like they're down 7. And come back and just try to establish the offense, get the offensive flow going a little bit, maybe get that running game untracked, and see what they can do from there.
The Clinton High School Marching Maroons on the field, performing for the crowd that's on hand here at halftime. Let's run down the scoring plays real quick here. We've touched on them some, but just officially, the scoring plays were like this. At 6:18 to go in the first quarter of play, on Sullivan's first possession, they moved it downfield, and it was capped on a 2-yard run by Jason Moody. The kick good, following 7-0 in favor of Sullivan. The Maroons came right back on their first possession after the kickoff by Sullivan. They started at their own 40-yard line. On the first down play, Parson went nowhere, but the second down play, an option run. Nate Sams broke into the clear, outran the defense, and took it all the way 60 yards. The extra point attempt good by Jeremy Hinton, and we were tied 7-7. That was only 1 minute and 2 seconds following the Sullivan score at 5:16 to go in the first quarter of play. We went scoreless the rest of the half until just 36 seconds ago before halftime, when Sullivan, capitalizing on a very short punt by the Maroons, got a first down, and then on a first down play from the 15-yard line, Wildman at the last second throwing toward the goal line, had a great catch made by Adam Gerchek. Gerchek going up among the Maroon defenders, who appeared to have it covered well from behind anyway. With a lot of pressure on his back, Gerchek making the catch, cradling it in, getting the score. The kick following was good, 14-7. Sullivan with the extra point kick good, now leading it here at halftime by a touchdown. That's where we stand right now. We're going to take a break here, and we'll be back with more in just a little bit.
The Warm Neighbors Fund pays heating bills for people in need. It also weatherizes homes, which helps reduce future heating bills. Warm Neighbors is administered by the Energy Assistance Foundation, a nonprofit organization formed in 1982 with a $250,000 donation from Illinois Power. Last year alone, your contributions and major funding from Illinois Power provided warmth for over 2,000 families.
Just a reminder, tomorrow morning at 9:30 on WHOW AM and FM radio will be our Coach's Corner program. We'll talk things over with Coach Chuck Nagel, talk about tonight's ball game and what's coming up next week for the Maroons. 9:30 tomorrow morning on WHOW AM and FM, Coach's Corner with Coach Chuck Nagel. Here's the kickoff by the Maroons' Carl Kortz. Sullivan will get the ball to start the second half of play from their own 21-yard line. It'll be Sullivan bringing it up the middle, Leaf Walling on the return, and Walling punches it out across the 30-yard line to about the 33. That's where the Redskins will start, 1st and 10. They lead our Maroons by a touchdown, 14-7. There are 2 touchdown plays, one early in the ball game, a 2-yard run by Jason Moody, and the other one, the big one, right before halftime, 36 seconds to play in the first half, a touchdown pass from Wildman, Jason Wildman, their backup quarterback, who's played very well tonight, to Adam Gerchek in the front edge of the end zone to give them the 14-7 lead. From their own 33-yard line, 1st and 10, they'll run out of the I formation, 2 wide receivers to the left side, and Wildman will hand it off to the second back. And getting through and getting down to about the 35-yard line, but the Maroons making good hard tackling plays there Combining was Adam Long and one other on the play. I didn't quite catch it. I believe Herzog was there on the play also. About a 2-yard gain on the play by Leaf Walling. A gain of 2, maybe 3 yards on the play. We'll call it second down and a good 8 coming up for the Redskins. Crowd settling back in for the second half of action. They've seen an entertaining ball game here tonight so far, but the Redskins are leading the Maroons by 7. On second down and 8, Wildman again. They'll try the middle. No gain there. The Maroons immediately botch that one up, and they're trying to strip the football away if they can. A gain of nothing for Martin that time. Shane Martin, the ball carrier. Third down and 8. Scott was the man who initially made the tackle on the play. Doug Scott, we understand. Third down and 8 now for the Redskins. They're at their own 35, just across the 35-yard line. Maroons defensively struggled on the opening drive by Sullivan, and they've given up some yardage in this ball game, but they've risen to the occasion several times. And here's another big opportunity for the defense. Try to get the Maroons offense a good chance here. Rolling out, Wildman to the left. Looking upfield, fires it upfield, and it's almost intercepted off the hands of Adam Long, who hustled up in a hurry and knocked that ball away. They had 2 receivers in the vicinity. Gerchek was one, and also Tom Kringbaum was in that area out near midfield. Incomplete, so the Maroons defense does the job, and that's a good way to start the third quarter play. Very important stage of the ball game, how you start out the second half. And now the Maroons offense needs to see if they can move the football, maybe get back in this ball game, get a touchdown on the board and tie it back up. They'll await the punt coming up by Sullivan. Dropping back to kick the ball away is Wildman, dropping back inside his 25, staying at about his own 23-yard line. Maroons will not put on a big rush here. They've got Parson deep and Herzog deep. He dropped the ball on the ground. If they had had any kind of rush at all, a low line drive kick. Maroons, it hits the back of a Sullivan player, and it'll be down. Maroons letting it roll downfield after the low line drive kick. Boy, that play didn't come off cleanly at all. But Wildman was very fortunate. The Maroons did not have anybody rushing him at all. He had plenty of time to pick it up and kick it, and yet he still forced a low line drive kick that was touched by a Sullivan player and will be down at the 40-yard line of the Maroons. So not a very long kick at all, only 24 yards. And they had the wind to their back. So the Maroons going into the wind, moving toward the south goal. Will split the backfield, wide receivers both ways. And Nate Sams under center. Back fell down. He gives it to Carter, though. Parsons slipped in the backfield and fell down. They gave it to Carter, who I guess was the man who was supposed to get the call, and he got about 4, almost 5 yards on the play. Parson, the lead blocker on the play, slipped in the backfield and went down, and Nate had to step around Matt to hand off the football. A gain of almost 5. We'll call it 4. Second down and a short 6 coming up for the Maroons. They're at their own 45-yard line. Herzog comes wide to the left side. I think we got double tight ends here. And I-formation backfield. Parson stays on his feet. This time has a first down and more. He's into Sullivan territory, into the 46 of the Redskins. The best run of the night so far for Matt Parson. That's vintage Matt Parson. Running like we saw earlier this year. Got 9 yards on the play, and he's to the 46-yard line of the Redskins with the first down. First and 10 for the Maroons here in their opening drive of the second half, trailing Sullivan by 7 points, 14-7. Our cameraman is down on the football field, snapping some shots for the Clinton Daily Journal. He'll rejoin us later on, but right now he's getting some pictures for the paper to be seen on Monday. Rolling out on the option, Sams pitches the last second. He's got Carter. Carter trying to get around the corner, beats a man. He's inside the 35, 30, and down to the 26-yard line. Good lead blocking out front by Chad Herzog. And Carter, after getting the late pitch by Sams, gave Carter a one-on-one situation. He was able to beat that man, but then the other safeties were able to catch up and knock him down at about the 26-yard line. First down for the Maroons. A great pickup again for Clinton from the 41 down to the 26, a 15-yard gain. Sams on first down and 10 for the Maroons. Has the offense rolling. Gives it to Parson, trying to right side. Pushing behind his blocker, stays on his feet. Still running hard, is down inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. He was plowing behind his blockers, and then all of a sudden popped out into the clear again and got a few extra yards on a play before he went down. He had a good lead block by Kyle Bourne out in front of him. To the 19-yard line. Second down and 3. The Maroons come out smoking here early in the third quarter of play. They were trailing by a touchdown, still are at this point, but we're early in the third quarter of action. Their defense stops Sullivan on 3 plays, has taken over, and they're moving the football at the 19. Another option, pitch to Carter, cuts inside his man, stays on his feet. He's inside the 15 and down close to the 10-yard line, maybe to the 9. We'll see how far they gave him. It's a first down for the Maroons. Carter, a nice stutter step to beat his man after the option pitch from Sams as they ran it to the right side of the field. And we'll see if they got first down and goal or if it's just outside the 10-yard line. It's very close to the 10. I think it'll be 1st and goal just inside the 10-yard line. So 1st and goal for Clinton. The last time they were down in this vicinity at the 8-yard line, they fumbled the football and gave it back to Sullivan. Sullivan dodged a bullet. This time the Maroons will try to punch it in from near the 10-yard line on 1st and goal. They'll bring a cross direction, and Herzog stopped in the backfield, stays on his feet, though, running hard, and goes down for no gain. Should be spotted back close to the 10, maybe just outside the 10, a loss of a yard on the play. That one, the misdirection in the backfield, botched up nicely by Sullivan. They made good penetration and didn't give that one any chance at all. Loss of a yard. 2nd and goal from the 11 now for the Maroons. We're in the 3rd quarter of play. We've only played about 4 minutes and 15 seconds. The Maroons defense did the job and held Sullivan. And now the Maroons offense has moved the football from their own 40-yard line. They're at the 11 of Sullivan. 2nd and goal. Carter, big opening right side. First inside the 5 and goes down near the 2-yard line, maybe the 3. Had a nice hole, and then it closed up finally after he punched through the initial hole. But he got it inside the 5 and to about the 3-yard line. 3rd and goal from the 3 for the Maroons. Play comes in from the sideline. With the injury, it appears, that we've had to Doug Hammer. The Maroons using some other players, including Ross Wantlin, who brings the play in from the sideline. Wantlin lining up at an offensive lineman spot. 3rd and goal from the 3 is some of the crowd trying to support the Maroons offense here. Maroons will punch it toward the middle. Is it in yet? Touchdown Maroons! Nate Sampson, the quarterback keeper, punches it in there. And the Maroons are back within 1 here early in the 3rd quarter of play. They come out of the locker room and they get right back in this ball game. They now trail by just 1, 14-13. A 60-yard drive by the Maroons, capped by a 3-yard run by quarterback Nate Sams, his 2nd touchdown of this ball game. And the score comes with 6 minutes and 53 seconds to go in quarter number 3. Jeremy Hinton is on for the extra point attempt. Jeremy's last kick was a low line drive, but it got through there. This is an important extra point attempt here, although we still have about half the football game to go. Placement's down. The kick has got plenty of distance. It is good. That one was pretty. We're tied 14-14 as a light rain starts to fall again here at Clinton High School. The rain is starting to come down once more. We'll take a break and be back with the kickoff by the Maroons in just a moment.
The Clinton Daily Journal brings hometown news to you Monday through Friday. If you haven't tried the Journal lately, pick up a copy and discover City Council and School Board news, who, what, where, and when, Farm Bureau, YMCA, and library features, up-to-the-minute sports coverage, high-impact classified ads, business and service guides, and much, much more. Call today, 935-3171, to subscribe to your hometown news.
It's funny how when it starts raining, the people outside want to come in the booth. We do have a bit of a rain starting to fall here at Clinton High School, with the Maroons with the rain starting to fall, although not the downpours that we had last week in the Central Catholic game. Maroons have scored the touchdown and have tied it up. Their confidence has come back strong here to start the 3rd quarter of play. Here's Carl Kortz with a low kickoff. One of the Sullivan players made a dive for it. It's fielded now at the 25 up to the 30-yard line, and a good tackle made by Ross Wantlin. I believe, yes it was, Ross Wantlin at the 35-yard line, out to the 36-yard line. The return made by Adam Elder. Sullivan will start 1st and 10 from their own 36. Well, I hope Cameron's keeping his camera dry down there. I don't see where, there he is. Cameron wearing his Cowboys jacket. Yeah, there he is. He's trying to lend some support to the football team. He's got the flash out, ready to take a picture. Sullivan with their 2nd possession of the 2nd half in this tie ball game with the football. They'll quick pitch and try to go around the left corner. They've got some running room out there. And getting about 10 yards on the play, diving forward, is Leaf Walling after about a 10-yard gain. He'll be just short of the first down, it looks like, from the spot by the official. Boy, the Maroons trying to get out there and cut it back inside. Meyer was given chase from his end position. Couldn't quite get out there in time to catch up with it. Looks like they're going to measure to see if it was the 10 yards needed for the first down on the run by Leaf Walling, who's been the quick man out of the backfield for Sullivan and has gotten some good yardage on some of those sweeps and quick pitches. They measure, and it appears to be short by just a few inches. So they'll have 2nd down and very short for a first down out near the 45-yard line, between the 45 and 46 in Sullivan territory. Well, the people have brought the umbrellas along and the raincoats and the hats and whatever else they needed to try to stay dry out here. And the camera's going to get a test again, isn't it? Well, if it can pass last week's test, it can make it through this week, I would think. We had about 105% humidity last week, I think, or 150%. Second down and very short for the Redskins. They've got everybody tight on the line on this play. See if Wildman, just quarterback, keeps it for the first down. No, he'll take the hand up. He's going to option right now, cut it upfield, has the first down, breaks into clear, still staying on his feet as he dives all the way down to the 41-yard line of the Maroons. He was stumbling forward, but kept his balance. And before Adam Long and Josh Carter could catch up with him, he was into Maroon territory to the 41-yard line. So Sullivan trying to bounce right back now. We're all tied up at 14 apiece. Midway through the third quarter of play, almost exactly at the midway point of the third quarter. And at first down for Sullivan at the 41-yard line, the defense again will have to try to rise to the occasion. They've done it on some occasions in the first half of play, because Sullivan has certainly been able to move the ball up and down the field against the Maroons, but they've been able to shut them down at times and prevent them from scoring. They'll send two wide receivers to the left side. Kriegbaum and Gerchek, their two top receivers, are wide out there to the left. Wildman fakes the handoff to second back, looks over the middle after dropping straight back, fires it over the middle, got a man wide open, but he overshoots him by 5 yards at least. Swinging across the middle into the clear was Tom Kriegbaum, and he was in the clear, but Wildman overshot him by a good 5 yards down near the 10-yard line. It goes incomplete. That play took a while to develop, but once it did, Kriegbaum had moved into the clear, coming across from the left to right, and was open about 30 yards downfield. Wildman's got a terrific arm, though. He can just sail it out there, but overshot him. 2nd and 10 now for the Redskins at the 41 of the Maroons. They'll send one wide receiver to the left side and one to the right side. And I formation again out of the backfield. Martin the up man, and they'll go to the pitch. Cutting to the left side, breaking into the clear. Might go all the way. 20-yard line slowed up a bit, cuts inside, and he will take it in for the touchdown. And Sullivan's back in the lead again on the run by Leaf Walling. Walling with some nifty running again. Runs it in from 41 yards out. Got to the outside, was down to the 20. Maroons looked like they had it botched up there for a moment, but he was able to cut back inside and break into the clear again. And Leaf Walling has given Sullivan the lead right back, so they answer the Maroons touchdown. It's coming at the 5:27 mark to go in the third quarter play, and that quiets the Clinton crowd back down again after they were back up in this ball game. 20-14, Sullivan has regained the lead. They still got a long way to go in this ball game, and the way it's going, it's far from over. Looks like they will try the kick for the extra point as Walling, who just ran at 41 yards, will try to catch his breath and boot it through the uprights. The holder will be Greg Yoder, the injured starting quarterback who has not played tonight. Awaiting the snap. It's a good one. Placement down. Kick looks good from here. It is good. Sullivan's back up by 7. Timeout on the field with 5:27 to go in the third period of play. The Redskins have regained the touchdown lead. They lead the Maroons 21-14. Back with more in a moment.
Hallmark. When you care enough, send the very best. 3 cards for a $3 promotion. Coupons available at the store. Offer good through October 31st. One-stop shopping and savings on all your office supply needs. Sales flyer available. Great bargains. New ideas to make your office more efficient. Locally owned and managed. Taking pride in living in Clinton. Supporting local organizations and programs such as this.
Well, that was a quick answer to the Maroons touchdown. Just about a minute and 35 seconds or so to answer the touchdown. 5:27 to go. Here in the third quarter play, and now Sullivan on the 41-yard run by Walling, who will now kick off for Sullivan, has regained the lead 21-14. The boot taken at about the 10-yard line. Herzog has no blocking out in front of him, so retraces his steps, tries to cut back, and gets it out to about the 20 or 21-yard line. Kind of ran away from his blocking, it looked like. He was cutting toward the near sideline, and all he had was a couple of white shirts in front of him, so he had to cut back to the far side of the field. And Sullivan's pursuit cut him down. Near the 21-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Maroons, whose offense looked very sharp on that last series. Started at their own 40-yard line last time and moved it downfield in a very, very nice fashion for the touchdown. That had tied it back up at 14 apiece, but Sullivan has answered lead 21-14. First down run up the middle, putting his head down and diving out is Parson to near the 25-yard line. They'll give him only to about the 24 where he touched the ground. A 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7 coming up for the Maroons. Maroons shuttling some linemen in and out of there with the plays. With the injury situation apparently to Doug Hammer, who appears to have injured a leg, maybe an ankle injury. We're not exactly sure what it was. but he was down a couple times in the ball game with some type of injury. The Maroons have had to make some changes. Jesse Johns is seeing playing time tonight. It's good to have him back in there. Maroons will pass on second down. Sams throws it over the middle. It's short and incomplete. Almost a one-handed catch, but dropped out there as the pass intended for Helton was off the mark and almost intercepted out there by, I believe it was Tom Krigbaum, who was in the vicinity. He had to try to reach back for that ball, and of course, with the light rain we've had out here, it is slippery. And with the one-handed, right-handed attempt on the catch, it slipped through his hands and hit the turf, incomplete. 3rd down and 7 coming up for the Maroons now. Try to keep this drive alive and try to come back again in this ball game. Midway through the 3rd quarter of play. Herzog will line up in the slot on the left-hand side. Everyone else is tight on the line. Maroons will run an option. There's a couple of flags on the play. And Sams will only get a couple of yards on the run. Plus, there is a penalty coming up, and most likely against the Maroons, I would imagine. We'll wait and see, though. It is against the Maroons. They would have 4th down and still at least 5 coming up, so we would imagine Sullivan would decline the penalty with the line of scrimmage only about the 28 of the Maroons. They discuss it with the defensive captain on the field for Sullivan, which is a big David Elder. They do decline the penalty. It was a gain of 2 on the run by Sams, one of the few times that they have contained him on an option run in this ball game, or at least a situation where they've contained him and he hasn't been able to pitch to Carter, who has picked up some good yardage. Let's put it that way. 4th and 4 for the Maroons, and it would appear Nichols is on to punt the football. Keep in mind, Sullivan has blocked at least 1 in this ball game. We thought they had partially blocked another. It certainly was a short punt back in the 2nd quarter, along with the one that they had blocked. And they've got everybody up there. And here comes the rush. This time Nichols gets a kick away. Low end-over-end kick that will take a Clinton bounce, and almost touched. Herzog dives on the football. Should have let it roll some more because it wasn't touched, I believe. I think Herzog thought maybe it had been touched by the Sullivan. Yes, it was! It was touched by the Sullivan player. A late sign from the official. Herzog made the right play. It is a fumble recovery technically for the Clinton Maroons. What a big play. Everybody was acting so casual out there. We thought it must not have been. But Mike England, the deep man for Sullivan, did touch the football apparently. It brushed his uniform. He stepped away from it. Herzog dove on it like he thought it must have touched him. And the Maroons have the recovery in the football. That's a big play. 34-yard line of Sullivan, Clinton football. I tell you, we've seen so many incidents so far this season, 2 or 3 times, of a situation look like that, and they've given the football to the team receiving. We figured it would just be the same thing again. Parsons slips as he makes his cut on 1st down and doesn't get much of any. He started outside and tried to cut inside, and his feet went out from under him. It's getting a little tough running out there. Tough cutting out there with the light rain falling. Although I think the rain is stopped again, maybe, or is certainly slowed down because some of the umbrellas have been put away again. 2nd down and about 9.5 for the Maroons. See if they can capitalize on this break. Technically a fumble recovery by the Maroons' Chad Herzog. And there's a flag before this play gets off. Now what's going on here? The Maroons are having a little trouble getting these plays off cleanly now. They have not struggled with that too much this year. Even in the opening game against Olympia, the Maroons offense has looked sharp. But here's a procedure penalty against the Maroons. They looked very sharp on the opening drive of this 3rd period. They were trailing 14-7 at halftime, but moved the ball 60 yards downfield, punched it in for a touchdown, tied the ball game up, 14-14. But Sullivan came right back and answered it, and they lead 21-14, and now the Maroons offense sputtering a little bit here. A 5-yard penalty will give them 2nd down and 14.5, almost 15. Now they're outside the 30-yard line at about the 34, 33. We'll call it the 33. Nichols, Herzog go wide to the left side. I formation backfield behind Nate Sams. This one's off cleanly. Rolling out left. Has time to throw a short pass. Parson diving for it. Can't come up with it. He had good coverage by Moody. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and about for the Maroons. 3rd and 15 from the 33-yard line of Sullivan. Need a 1st down to keep this thing alive. Still a lot of time to go in the ball game, though. We're down to 3 minutes and 5 seconds to go in the 3rd period of play. 21-14, Sullivan with the lead over the Maroons. The Redskins undefeated, 6-0 in the season, tied for 10th in the Class 3A ratings in the state in the latest poll. They were 9th last week. On 3rd down and 14, short drop by Sams, now steps back, rolls out right, fires it over the middle, tipped and incomplete. Ooh, he was trying to hit Nichols, and Nichols was in a big crowd out there. 4th down, and I think the Maroons are going to punt the football. So they send some players in from the sideline that'll be doing the blocking and covering on this play. We see Jamie Queer come in there. Casey Hicks comes into the football game, and Brad Earl checks in also for the Maroons, as Ben Nichols will drop back near midfield to punt this one with the wind in his face coming out of the south. Standing at his own 10-yard line, still in there, is Mike England, who gave the Maroons his chance. High snap, he pulls it down, big rush, gets the kick away, and he was hit on. Back to the line, but Nichols was roughed on the play. Nichols was roughed on the play as he kicked that one away. He was hit and knocked down while punting the football away. He shakes his head. He's all right to the sideline. The roughing, the kicking penalty, kicker penalty. The personal foul will give the Maroons the ball and a first down and great field position. Boy, that was a big rush, and he barely got that one away. They had blocked two earlier in this game, but they weren't able to get that one. Nichols got it away in time and then was able to draw the penalty. They'll spot the ball inside the 20, inside the 25, that is, at about the 22-yard line, maybe the 23. Let's call it the 23. First and 10 for the Maroons. Now they've gotten a fumble recovery. They've gotten a roughing the kicker penalty. It's time to capitalize to tie this ball game back up again. Here's Sams under center with the football. Gives the Parson. That'll probably be a penalty coming up against the Maroons. We'll just wait and see. It was a gain of about 3 or 4 yards on the play, but I got a feeling this one will come back the way that flag was thrown. Maroons really getting hit for some penalties here in the third quarter play since the opening drive. A holding call against the Maroons. So this one will come back. The flag thrown in the vicinity of the 21. They'll be back out to 31. Ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. Coming down to the last few minutes. 2 minutes and 33 seconds of the third quarter of action. 2:33 to play in the third. Sullivan leading the Maroons 21-14. Herzog's going to go wide to the right side. I formation behind Sands. He'll give it off. Parson finds an opening this time and is hog-tied and thrown down at about the 25-yard line after a gain of about 6 yards on the play. Second down and a good 12 to go for a first down. Maroons have got to get it inside the 14, almost to the 13 for a first down. And the line of scrimmage is out here near the 25. Official's going to stop the clock for a moment and take a timeout. Trying to keep that football dry. Take some time to dry it off. Can't tell if we're getting a little light rain. Yeah, we're still getting a light rain here as we look up in the lights. Not very heavy, nothing like what we had last week. Light rain falling. Second and 12. Parson up the middle again, puts his head down. Maroons offensive line trying to bull their way out there. And they get it down inside the 25, down to about the 22-yard line. It'll be third down and still long for the Maroons, a third down and at least 8, probably 9 would be the closer call. And I think now we have another official's timeout here. Official talking things over with one of the defensive players for Sullivan out there. Maybe checking some equipment or something. Might have got a bloody nose. Uses a towel to wipe off the face. That's Jason Moody down there, who wears number 10 for Sullivan. He's apparently all right. Situation taken care of. Play comes in from the sideline. Ross Watland runs it in there. Third down and 9 for the Maroons. Need to keep it alive. They're in 4 down territory here. I was going to say 2 more downs territory, but hopefully you understand what I mean. Third down and 9. From the eye, quick pitch. Carter going right side, cuts it upfield, has a bit of an opening, may get the first down. He's still on his feet. 10, 5, touchdown! Maroons are back within 1. Josh Carter, a nifty 23-yard touchdown run, and the Maroons are back within 1, 21-20. Woo! What a run by Josh Carter. We were just hoping for a first down, but then he got it once he got past the 13-yard line, was still on his feet. A man grabbed him at the ankles at the 3, but he fell into the end zone for the touchdown, and this game is far from over. The Maroons score comes here with 1 minute and 12 seconds to go in the third quarter of play. And again, a very important extra point attempt coming up here by the Maroons. And they will just go for the tie again. Still with a quarter of the football game to go, a little over. Jeremy hitting on to try to get his third PTA of the ball game, and they didn't get it. It is blocked, and that's a biggie. Kick is blocked and no good, and the score remains Sullivan 21, Clinton 20. Still a quarter plus a minute 12 of the third quarter to go in the ball game. Back with the kickoff by the Maroons in a moment.
Pain pills are a common thing with people who feel they have no place left to turn. Pills for your backaches, for that headache, pills for your sinuses. You've been to your doctor. He doesn't know what else to do, so you keep on taking pills. But pills don't have to be a part of your life, and neither does pain. Your backache or headache can be relieved without surgery and without drugs. At the Allen Chiropractic Health Clinic in Clinton, Dr. Harold Allen will diagnose the cause of your pain. And once you find the cause, you can usually find the cure. Pain is not normal. Something can be done about it. Call the Allen Chiropractic Health Clinic at 935-6842. We relieve pain.
Josh Carter with a terrific run has brought the Maroons even on the touchdowns in this ball game. The extra point attempt, no, however, stopped short. Blocked, and the Maroons 1 point down now, 21-20, as the rain starts to pick up a little bit again out here. Nothing like what we had last week, but a rain is falling here at Clinton High School. Carl Courts with a kickoff. Gets a good end-over-end boot. That'll be taken at the 9-yard line to the 15, 20. Looking for an opening. England now accelerates and gets it out across the 35 to about the 36 or 37-yard line. A good run by England to give Sullivan good field position. We'll see where they spot it exactly. I believe the 37-yard line is where they'll start. 1st and 10 after the return by Mike England, a senior, 5'5", 140 pounds. Raindrops are on the lens again, it looks like, this week. After last week, we had those heavy rains. This week, you can see possibly anyway, on our replay here on Clinton Cable TV Channel 7, the rain falling again as we close in on the Sullivan offense with the football again out of the power I formation this time. Wildman will hand it off. Martin trying to middle, got a couple of yards, and then thrown back by Ben Helton. He might have got it to the 40-yard line for a gain of 2. And somebody's slow getting up again, but I think they'll be all right for the Maroons. A gain of 2, almost 3 on the forward progress that they give him, but we'll call it 2nd and 8 coming up for the Redskins. They're in their own territory at the 41-yard line. Cameron Mond's still down there trying to shoot some pictures. He acts like it's not even raining out there as I look down on him. That guy's crazy, I think. 2nd and 8. Wildman taking his time. He'll give it to the tailback and met immediately. I think it was Moody, and he is stopped for no gain or maybe a loss on a play. Good solid tackle by Doug Scott, who fired through there and met him in the backfield and stops him at the line of scrimmage for no gain, and that's the end of the third quarter. Sullivan will have a 3rd down and 8 when we come back at their own 40-yard line. Our scores will take a break at the end of the third quarter of play. Sullivan leads the Maroons by 1, 21-20.
Waiting for the 99-cent third of a pound double burger sale at Dairy Queen? Your time is now. Whenever we do this sale, we sell so many double burgers that we decided to give our friends and neighbors what they want. As long as you keep buying them, we'll keep selling them for 99 cents. That's our promise. We want to make you happy. And while you're visiting us at Dairy Queen, try our onion rings, bread and mushrooms, and best desserts in town.
Quick pitch for Sullivan on 3rd down and 8. They'll try to get it around the corner, and the Maroons defense comes up and makes the play and drops him near the 44-yard line on the sweep attempt by Leaf Walling. They'll give him to the 45-yard line. He's about 3 yards short of a 1st down in Sullivan territory. So we would think they would be forced to punt the football back to the Maroons. As we start 4th quarter action, the Maroons are trailing by just 1 point, 21-20. They have trailed or been tied in this entire ball game. They trailed 7-0, tied it up 7-7, fell behind 14-7. That was our halftime score. The Maroons came back, tied it up 14-14, then fell behind 21-14, and scored a touchdown to pull within 1, 21-20. Their extra point attempt was blocked, so that's where we stand, 21-20 Sullivan. And here is Wildman to punt the football from his own 33-yard line. Awaiting the snap, but first, timeout taken by Sullivan. So they'll use a timeout, and I think we will also. Timeout on the field early in the 4th quarter of play. Sullivan leading the Maroons by just 1, 21-20.
At Monocle's Pizza, we're introducing the 2 big pizza deals. Some deals give you 21 pieces, some 24. Monocle's 2 big deals gives you 64 pieces, all for $11.95. You get all of the traditional Monocle's quality spread over 2 large pizzas with 64 pieces for $11.95. Price is good for 1-topping pizzas. Additional toppings available at extra cost. Available carry-out only. Breadsticks and family salads also available for carry-out.
Cameron Mon's back with us in the booth. He's a little damp, but not looking too bad. How hard's the rain coming down out there?
It's just misting, basically, Larry, but the field is pretty slippery. As you've seen, the missed extra point, a couple of runs. Conditions aren't bad, but it is a little slippery out there.
Well, this is a big situation here for the Maroons. The defense apparently stopping Sullivan. Got to make sure they don't pull some kind of fake here and get the first down. It is a fake to the up man, and he's got the first down. You wondered after they took the timeout, but they were able to get the short snap to Leaf Walling, and Walling gets the first down. They didn't want to give up the football to the Maroons, and they keep their drive alive with that fake.
That's a pretty safe play there at midfield, and you only got a couple yards to go. If you think you can hit that hole quick enough, and Walling's certainly quick enough, then it's a fairly decent risk to take, especially with the wind in your face, and now Sullivan can keep that clock moving a little bit.
Well, the Maroons certainly wanted their hands on the football, trailing by 1 in this ball game. They can't afford to give up. Well, they can. We're early in the third or fourth quarter of play, but certainly you would hope not to give up any more points in this ball game and give your offense a chance to win it. But Sullivan with the drive alive at the 47 of the Maroons. So option right. Wildman pitches. Moody trying the right side. Knocked down about the 45-yard line of the Maroons. A gain of 2 or 3 yards on the play. They'll have 2nd down and 7 coming up. Well, you had a lot of action to see down there when you were on the field. Touchdowns and just, the roughing the kicker play on the punt attempt. A lot of action.
Yeah, just real quick, the news isn't too good from Clinton sideline either. Ben Nichols is out. Looks like a possible separated shoulder is what trainer David Cook's saying. I don't think he's going to play again. He does have his pads on right by him, but he's taking his shoulder pads off. I don't think we'll see him again tonight. Doug Hammer's also, he's already dressed in street clothes with a sprained ankle, and he's definitely out of the game for the rest of the game. I do want to just say the reserves have been playing very well. Ross Wantland has been coming in for Jesse Johns. They've been basically rotating plays at that tackle spot, and he's done a very fine job. I watched him a couple times on that goal line, and Ross was really moving some people around out there. And Tom Myers also playing some on the offensive line. Doug Scott and Hicks are getting in there too. So it's been a real group effort by the line. They've done a fairly good job. Both drives this third quarter, they did a good job moving Sullivan off the line.
2nd and 7 now for Sullivan after the brief timeout on the field. Wildman again, option right, tried to run with it, and he's tripped up around the ankles by diving Matt Parson. He fell forward for a couple of yards with the rain falling here. 3rd and 5 coming up for the Redskins. When did the injury occur to Nichols? Was it on the attempted punt? I thought they just caught him in the leg, or do you have any idea?
Well, it's his shoulder they're worried about. I didn't see it. I just turned around and he's sitting over there on the sidelines with the shoulder problems, and I think it's been something that's been sore all year. He's had some problems reaching and stuff, and then tonight maybe something happened. I didn't see the play where he actually came out of, out of the game.
I did not either. 3rd down and 5 now for the Redskins. Send a man in motion. They'll have 2 lined up to the right side, as it turns out. And the I formation in the backfield. They'll try the 2nd man, and charging forward, but tripped up and going down short of the first down is Walling. Grabbed around the ankles again by Matt Parson, who somehow slips through there and grabs him around the ankles, or was that? That was.
That's Kyle Bourne. Kyle Bourne got in there in the ankles too. I think Matt was around the play, but I think Kyle's the one who tripped him up at the ankles.
4th and 3 for Sullivan. And,
looks like Sullivan's going for it here.
They're at the 41 of the Maroons. They will go for it. Now they're lining up in punt formation again.
Excuse me, my fault.
That's all right. You had me going that way too. 2 men dropping back. Herzog and Parson in the rain, awaiting the low snap and the kick now. Good high kick that will bounce, and Herzog will have to field as it bounced right to him. He goes down to the 15-yard line as he's tackled immediately on the run back. So good, safe, little scary, but safe fielding play by Herzog, and the Maroons will have a 1st down and 10 at the 15-yard line. Let me check the clock here. We're down to 8 minutes and 46 seconds, I believe it is. 8 minutes and 6 seconds as we look around the pole down there. To go in the fourth quarter play, so lots of time. We'll see if the Maroons offense can do it again.
Yeah, that's a nice play by Herzog there. I mean, it's very dangerous, but I think that ball would have rolled another 10 yards for sure. Sullivan would have had time to down it before it got to the goal line. That could have really pinned Clinton back, so it's nice Chad was able to get his mitts on that ball.
Split backfield this time. Sands will give it to, the whistle's blowing and the play blown dead, apparently. A flag on the play. Well, we're having a lot of problems out there, procedure penalties and so on here in the third quarter play since our opening drive. Yeah, another procedure penalty against the Maroons. I want to ask you about that fumble recovery by Chad Herzog. It was hard to tell if it was touched, and apparently it was, but could you tell down on the sideline if it was touched or not?
I'm being very honest with you. I thought it hit his sleeve, and no one said anything for the Clinton sideline, and then all of a sudden I saw Chad dive on it, and then Brian Knutson jumped in and said it hit him.
Yeah.
And I guess, I don't know if that was enough to spur the rest on. I thought it hit him. I thought it brushed his jersey, which I'm certain is considered part of the uniform. I don't think he got his hand on it, but
like I said at the time,
I thought it was a good call, and I was pretty far back though too.
Like I said at the time, we've seen that happen earlier this year, or we've thought it's happened earlier this year, and we haven't seen the call go that way. Here's Parson with a good run. Gets the 5 penalty yards back and some more out to about the 19-yard line. I wonder if this rain is an aid to one team or the other. It's hard to say at this point. Certainly with the quickness of Leaf Walling, that is a danger for the Maroons defense when they're trying to defend against him, and he burned him with that touchdown here in the third quarter.
It is, but it also makes cutting for the backs a little more difficult too, and as you've seen, a couple of them have just plain slipped. When you make those real sharp cuts is when it appears to be the most problem. 2nd and 8 now for the Maroons. And Sams will keep, has an opening. Looks for a block, gets it from Herzog. Got a man to beat, gets around the corner. He's out near midfield. He's to the 45 as he's knocked out of bounds. First down, Maroons, and more into Sullivan territory before Moody, along with Adam Yelder, knock him out of bounds. That was very similar to the touchdown runs we've seen recently out of him. And again, that option right goes. And did you see the block? It wasn't a real hard block, but it did the job. It sealed somebody off by Chad Herzog to give him the opening to get an additional 20 or more yards on the run. Well, more impressively is Chad Herzog didn't get a little over anxious and throw a clip. He waited for Nate to make the cut. Nate made the cut, the defender turned, and that's when Chad kind of screened him off. Wasn't a devastating block, but it was certainly effective.
Here's Parson on first down, gets 1 or 2 yards, diving forward close to the 40-yard line. The line of scrimmage was the 43. I think he got to the 41, a gain of 2, 2nd and 8 coming up for the Maroons. Lots of time. 7 minutes and about 15 seconds ago in the fourth quarter of play. Sullivan leads by 1, just 1, 21-20 over the Maroons, and the rain is picking up a little bit. Still not a real hard rain, but certainly, as you said, making the field very damp out there, and they're doing their best to keep the football as dry as possible with the towel. And they put it down on the ground right before center. The center takes control of that football. 2nd and 8 now. Here's the snap. Handoff will go to Parson, pops through the middle, stays on his feet, spins forward. He's about a yard or so short of the first down before he's brought down. Matt Parson starting to get it rolling a little bit here. He'll be about a yard short of the first down. 3rd down and 1 coming up for the Maroons. And you can see some concern on the far sideline now. The Sullivan players trying to stay up, but some of them are crouched down on their knee, just kind of hoping for a stop here.
Again, you got to give world of credit to the offensive line, and there's some people in there that don't normally play a lot that are in there and busting open some holes for Clinton. Quarterback keeper would have got the first down, but somebody jumped too soon. It didn't come off cleanly, and this one's going to come back. Doggone it. Looks like the rain's picking up a little bit more too, Larry. Oh, all right. Offsides against Sullivan is the call. That's terrific. I did not see that. I'll look forward to watching that on the replay next week. I'm going to look forward to seeing this whole game on the replay. Because that run by Josh Carter for the touchdown, what a run that was. That was terrific. Very sweet run by Josh Carter, and I think it was a good call to get him the ball. They hadn't run him much in that series, and then all of a sudden they pop him in, and he's got a little more speed than what Sullivan was used to. And I think he used that speed to his advantage and had a nice cut there in the middle of the field, too. Crowd getting into it with the rain falling here. 1st and 10 for the Maroons at the 29. Brian Knudsen calling something out to his quarterback. Sams nods his head, takes the snap. Has the football, stays on his feet, sheds a few tacklers, and goes down at about the 26-yard line. Got about 3 on the play, and he could have been stopped a couple times long before that, but he kept it moving. Got about 3, 2nd and 7 at the 26 of Sullivan coming up for the Maroons. I tell you, Nate is really keeping their defense spread out because he's clearly a threat on every time he tucks the ball under his arm, and I think Sullivan's now, seems like they've been a little slow to realize that, but it seems now they're a little more cautious of him, so maybe Josh Carter will get in the action here a little bit more on pitches. A little bit scarier with the pitch, though, with the rain falling out here. But, boy, the Maroons have handled that to Sams, to Carter so many times so well this year. Split backfield this time. Herzog goes in motion right to left. Long call by Sams. And before the snap of the football, a flag flies. Did they take too long? They took too long. Too much time. Delay a game. Oh, we're trying to self-destruct here with penalties. Well, I shouldn't say that because I'm thinking in my mind that we got penalized a moment ago and it was actually a penalty against Sullivan. But we have had more than our normal share of penalties in this ball game here in the second half. Well, it looked like in that play, it looked like Clinton may have been trying to draw Sullivan off sides, and I think that's a pretty decent call because it's 2nd and 6, and Sullivan might not be looking for that long count on that play. Right. And they might be looking for it on 3rd down, but definitely not 2nd down. But Sullivan, to their credit, waited. 5:18 to go in the ball game. Sam still with the football, still on his feet. He's in the clear. 20,
15, one man to beat. He's inside the 10 and down to the 6-yard line. First and goal coming up for the Maroons. Sams looked like he was stopped 3 yards deep in the backfield, got away from that man, and then he was off to the races, and he is all the way to the 6-yard line of first and goal.
Again, yeah, just a beautiful run. Actually, it's a nice fake to the fullback Parson on that play. And I think that drew a couple Sullivan defenders, and then Sams had to swing outside a little longer than he wanted to, but he used his good speed to get around the corner, kind of bounced off a couple people who couldn't quite make the arm tackles, and he got him within the 10-yard line. First and goal for the Maroons.
Hard to believe he's just a sophomore. First and goal from the 6. Sams will hand it off. Parson trying the left side, pushing forward, goes down at the 5-yard line, a gain of 1. With 4 minutes and 56 seconds clock running to go, you want to burn some time off the clock. You don't need to score real quick, but you certainly want to score in this situation.
Yeah, but you also want to get the ball in the end zone too. Right. And it'd be interesting to see if Clinton's forced to that decision, if they're going to kick a field goal or go to a touchdown. Hopefully they can punch it in and they even bleed some time off the clock.
The rainy conditions could influence that decision too. A lot tougher to kick with the rain falling. From the 5 on second and goal. Sams on the keeper again. Option right. He is in there. Touchdown. A 5-yard run, option right by Nate Sams for yet another touchdown. And the Maroons have taken their first lead of the night. 4 minutes and 25 seconds to go in the ball game. They lead 26-21, and I imagine a try for 2 coming up here in just a second.
Yeah, that's the move. There's no sense in going. It really won't do them much good. A 2-pointer at least gonna have a tie for a possibility and give the decision to Sullivan should they somehow come up with a touchdown here in the last 20 some odd seconds.
4 minutes and 25 seconds
why
is
not
the
run
time
an
remaining.
option again, Larry? It seems to be working every play.
Got a different formation in the
Looks like a
backfield.
full
Power
house.
eye. Power eye, okay. Full house, whatever. Nope, it'll Carter. He'll punch it in. All right, we're up by 7. Timeout on the field. 4:25 to go in the ball game. The Maroons lead by a touchdown. 28-21. Back with the Maroons kickoff in a moment.
Clinton Maroon football is made possible through the sponsorship of local businesses and the Clinton Chamber of Commerce. Preparation is underway now to televise Clinton High School winter sports events such as boys and girls basketball and wrestling on Clinton Cable TV Channel 7. This will be made possible through the help of local businesses and individuals. If you are interested in helping sponsor Clinton High School winter sports and having your commercial seen by hundreds of local residents, please call Kathy Shinneman at the Clinton Chamber of Commerce at 935-3364.
4 minutes and 25 seconds to go. Here's the Maroons kickoff by Carl Kortz, the junior kicker. Not a real deep kick, end-over-end kick that'll be taken at the 20, and this is a dangerous man on the run back, trying to cut it to the right side. Leaf Walling, but the Maroons stop him, and the ball is fumbled, and the Maroons have recovered, I believe. Let's watch and see who comes out with the football. Adam Long, maybe, I'm not sure exactly, but the Maroons have the football.
I didn't see who made the fumble recovery, Larry, but I know Jamie Queer made the hit that forced the fumble, so let's give credit to Jamie Queer there on the hit, and we'll try to find out who recovered that fumble.
We'll find out from the coach tomorrow morning, if not sooner. But the ball is recovered at the 35 of Sullivan. Leaf Walding, who has burnt the Maroons in this ball game with some terrific running, coughs up the football. It's recovered on the play by the Maroons, and they've got it at the 35-yard line, and they've got the 7-point lead. Time for some insurance and run some time off the clock. Sams will hand it off. Carter trying to run up the middle. Hang on to that football. Got a 1-yard gain, maybe 2. Second and long coming up for the Maroons.
I think, it's easy to overlook the offensive line here, but they've really done a wonderful job tonight. They've had to patch in a few people. They're running a lot of people in there. There goes Ross Wantlin in right now. But they have definitely they've been the deciding factor in this second half. They're just moving Sullivan off the ball. Sullivan's the tired team out here, I believe, Larry.
Kevin's got command of the crowd tonight. He says on your feet. Boy, the crowd responds, but they want to be on their feet right now because this team is leading by a touchdown, and they've got the football trying to put this one away. Less than 4 minutes ago. Parson, no gain. No gain on the play for Matt. It'll be 3rd down and 9 coming up. Sullivan hasn't quit, and you know the way that ball game went last week down to the wire against Central Catholic. You know, this one's far from over.
Well, Sullivan's got a couple disadvantages they got to think about if they can get the ball back here first. That's their first advantage. They don't have the ball, but they're also going to be going into the wind and into the rain, and the rain has picked up. Almost fortunately, it's going to make the big plays a little more difficult, I would think. But let's see if Clinton can eke out a first down here and bleed that clock a little bit more.
Option right, Nate Sams. Well, let's see here. Sams spinning out, going right. He's keeping the football, looking for the opening, slips and falls down. Keeps the clock running. back to the original line of scrimmage. We're back out to the 36-yard line. 4th and 10 at the 36 for the Maroons. Now, of course, Nichols is on the bench down here, but we have a very good backup punter if we want to punt. However, we get the wind to our back, and we're only at the 36-yard line, too.
I think they're going to use Nate Sam. Well, it may be Ben Helton, but Nate Sam punts some. He punts some in practice, too. But I've seen Helton, too. They got about 6 guys that can punt the ball, actually. They use them all in practice.
Helton, as you recall, when Nichols was hurt during the middle portion of the season last year, is the man who stepped in and did a terrific job in those middle 3 or 4 games of the season and as a replacement for Nichols punting.
I think Clinton smartly is going to take a delay game here. It's just going to move the ball back, but it bleeds the clock as much as they can.
2:02 to go. 2:02 to go in the ball game.
And that really doesn't affect the punt whatsoever. I think a wise play here might be to punt the ball out of bounds. Of course, you're talking the backup punter, and he might not be quite as warm as Ben, but you definitely want to avoid the long return by a punt. I'd punt the ball out of bounds if it's possible.
Phil, if you can pan to the left and catch the 2 guys sitting behind the bench down here that are injured, and also there's a look at the Maroons flag sailing over. They're up to the line of scrimmage, but that's Nichols and Doug Hammer having to watch from the bench with their injuries. Now they're up to the line of scrimmage. And Sams is the man standing back deep. They've had good rushes before, but he gets the kick away. Oh, a terrific kick, and the Maroons down it. It bounces at the 6, bounces straight up, get to that ball. No, a diving attempt by Herzog to get to it, but it bounced in the end zone for a touchback.
A fine effort by Nate Sams. He hung that ball up there really well.
Oh, a great kick.
It bounced, had a good bounce, but Clinton's coverage just couldn't quite get down there. Excellent effort by, was that Chad Herzog? I believe it was.
Herzog.
He's usually the first person down there for Clinton. Excellent effort on his part.
A minute and 51 seconds stands between the Maroons and their 6th victory of the year, a conference victory, and a defeat of an undefeated football team, the Sullivan Redskins, coming into this ball game.
You got to figure Sullivan 80 yards away. They're going to have to start putting the ball in the air here really quick. I don't think running is going to be an option for them anymore.
Wildman can throw it, but he pitches, and they'll try to take it around the right side. Leaf Walling trying to cut it upfield.
He's still in bounds, too, after that, I believe.
Let's see if they tell us to keep that clock running. The clock is still running, down a minute 40 to go. He got about 7 yards on the play. 2nd and 3 coming up here.
Seems like that's going to be a costly 7 yards, though, because it's going to take at least 20 seconds for them to get going, and they didn't even have another play called.
Check the defense here. See how deep we're playing when they come up to the line of scrimmage. We'll just want to keep them from scoring a touchdown. Down to a minute and 20 seconds to go in the ball game. Maroons lead by a touchdown. Quick pitch right again. It's fumbled. It's fumbled. It's picked back up, but it will be stopped for a loss on the play of 4 or 5 yards on the play. Again, they tried a quick pitch right to Walling, and he couldn't grab the ball cleanly out of the air. He got it back, and now Sullivan will have to use a timeout.
Yeah, and then he stayed in bounds. More importantly, Andy Curley comes way over from the right side of the field to get off the bottom of that pile. So that's great hustle by the big man here deep into the 4th quarter, and he's playing a lot both ways.
These guys have got to be juiced right now. The rain's coming down. They're soaking wet. They're just a minute and, let me just check, a minute and 10 seconds away from winning a big ball game here tonight. We trailed almost the whole way until just a little while ago when Sams ran a 5-yard touchdown with 4 minutes and 25 seconds to go to give Clinton their first lead of the night. They ran a 2-point conversion by Josh Carter, and Clinton leading 28-21 right now after that touchdown and 2-point conversion. 2 games left in the regular season. Want to plug that fact that next week we'll be at Argena for the game against Argena-Oriana, the Bombers. It'll be the, the final conference game of the year. And that is a 7 o'clock start, I believe, next week also down there. Final road game of the year, unless we play on the road during the playoffs. I'm thinking positively here. And we'll be on the air 6:45 from Argena with that ball game against the Bombers next Friday night. Minute and 10 seconds left. We look like we're in the driver's seat here, but one big play and things could change quickly. And as crazy as that ball game ended last week against Central Catholic, I'm not ready to say we're in the driver's seat officially yet.
Yeah, and I know the Clinton kids are very excited out there, but coaches Knutson and Nagel are not taking anything for granted, and I'm sure Nagel right now is telling them that there's still some time left in this ball game, and not to assume anything's going to happen, and not to assume Sullivan's going to lie down and roll over either. So a couple big plays here for the Maroons. 3rd and what was it, about 7, 8 yards?
3rd down about 7. The cheerleaders are still going down there. The rain falling. The cheerleaders still trying to keep the crowd in. Of course, that's easy to do tonight. Not taking anything away from their job. Well, they just took a break now. They're hard to see on camera with all the umbrellas in the way. Look at these soaking wet people down here. But they're not going anywhere. They're staying out here to watch the rest of this ball game. I tell you, Sullivan brought a big crowd on the far side too, and right now they're hoping, they're praying for any old kind of break to keep their undefeated season alive. They're going to be in the playoffs unless they totally self-destruct here at the end of the season. They do have a tough ball game. I think it's the last game of the year with St. Teresa. Can't count that one in the win column, but they should finish at least 7-2 you would think, and be in the playoffs. We're hoping we can put a loss on them here with 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining. Maroons leading by 7. 3rd and 7 for Sullivan. Wildman back to pass, looking for a long time. Now running, now throwing to a short man. He is open, makes the catch, has a first down. But that took a lot of time off the clock, and the clock will stop momentarily with 1 minute to go in the game. Boy, that seemed like it took longer than 10 seconds. They'll move the chains up, and then the clock will start again. That was a nice, safe completion. It looked like that man had fallen down and then got back up. Tom Krigbaum, and he got back up, and then he was open to make the catch.
Yeah, and Tom Meyer, I believe, out there in the coverage, and Tom is...
Clock running.
Tom and Rob did an excellent job at the end there for the Maroons, and their play will be important here down the stretch.
37-yard line. Wildman throwing over the middle. There's a flag on the play, and the pass is almost intercepted. Both Bob Igens and Adam Long were there, and Bob got the hands on it, but as they collided, they couldn't quite come up with it cleanly. This could be a hold against Sullivan. It's thrown in that vicinity like it would be a holding call.
Usually a hold from that official right there. We'll see. They're talking it over, and it is a holding on Sullivan.
We're down to 47 seconds remaining. And it is a holding call, in case you couldn't hear.
They're discussing it, but I would think you back them up and make them go farther.
Yeah.
Although second down is a possibility, too.
Yeah. With this little time left, I don't know. I think you just want to push them away from the goal line, I would think. Just get them farther and farther away. Time is on our side, no doubt about it. I don't know exactly what the timeout situation is for Sullivan. They used one just a little bit ago. They may have 2 or maybe just 1 left here. But right now the clock is stopped with 47 seconds remaining on the incomplete pass. Then the holding call made here. And the Maroons apparently will take the penalty and the yardage. It'll push them back to the 27-yard line. Sullivan at their own 27. 1st and 10 for the Redskins. The Maroons with injuries that we'll have to see how they pan out. To Ben Nichols, who's on the bench, and Doug Hammer, who's on the bench. But boy, these guys have come in there. These backups have done a terrific job. Wildman back to pass. Has some time. Wings it out there for Moody. It's intercepted. Bob Igens to the 45, 40, 35, out of bounds, 31-yard line. The Maroons have the football, and they got this one in the bag. 29 seconds remaining. Bob Igens makes the pickoff. The pass was underthrown for Moody.
Yeah, Bob Igens just playing center field back there. He did absolutely nothing but read Wildman on that play. Floated over to where the receivers were, and he definitely has the advantage because he's watching Wildman the whole time. Made a nice interception, made a good run back too. He wasn't content just to hold on to the ball. Igens wanted to get some yardage there, and he did pick up about 15, 20 yards after the interception, and that's obviously that puts the game in the bag, provided something really unforeseen happens here. I think Sams will probably just fall on the ball here.
Just run the clock out, put the knee down, and run the clock out. Steps back, kneels it down. Clock running, 26, 25 seconds remaining. It sounded like a White Sox crowd out here. They were doing the na-na-na, hey, goodbye song a little bit out here, the crowd. Clock down to 16 seconds as it stopped. And did Sullivan use a timeout here? Sullivan has used a timeout. All right. Well, this puts us at 6-1, gets us back in the conference race. Both Clinton and Sullivan then with 1 loss apiece. St. Teresa, not necessarily an automatic. They were playing Warrensburg-Latham tonight. I would think that they could win that ball game, but Warrensburg can be dangerous, and so it'll be interesting to hear a score out of that ball game.
Yeah, I think Warrensburg's, I didn't get to see them this year, but from everything I've heard about them, they're a little stronger team than their record indicates, and you go in there overconfident, you could have some problems.
They can move the ball. They give up some points, though, but they can certainly move the ball and put some points on the board.
I tell you, St. Teresa doesn't have an easy time with the Sullivan squad either. For the last game of the season. I believe that game is at Sullivan, too, which would make it even that much more interesting. You know, the possibility of Clinton getting a tie here for conference is certainly not out.
And there would be some kind of tiebreaker to decide who would be the automatic conference representative in the playoffs from that. Sams downs the ball again. 12 seconds left. 10 seconds left in this ball game. The Maroons are going to win this one 28-21. Their 6th victory of the year. This one is history. Clinton has defeated Sullivan in a heck of a ball game out here, 28-21. We'll come back and recap it for you in just a moment.
Are you paying too much in taxes? Is a tax increase in your future? Edward D. Jones & Company can show you how to protect your hard-earned income with insured tax-free bonds, tax-free mutual funds, tax-advantaged IRAs, and more. When you're ready for some tax relief, give us a call. Edward D. Jones and Company, member NYSE and SIPC.
Well, it's been a lot of fun out here at Clinton High School tonight. It at times didn't look good, although it wasn't ever an insurmountable lead for Sullivan, but they led by a touchdown at 3 different points during this ball game. And the Maroons were able to respond each time. Sullivan scored on their opening possession, led 7-0. Clinton came back, tied at 7-7. Sullivan went up 14-7 right before halftime. The Maroons came back in the third quarter in their first possession to tie it up 14-14. Sullivan responded immediately, went up 21-14. And then Clinton, sometime later, finally came back, scored a touchdown, but didn't get their extra point. It was 21-20, and then Clinton scores in the fourth period of play to come from behind and win it with the 2-point conversion, 28-21 over the Sullivan Redskins. That gives Sullivan their first loss of the year. And, well, we can't say it for sure, absolutely positively. 2 games remaining. We're 6-1. This team is this close to officially being in the playoffs. I mean, we need another win. And 2 more wins are very, very possible for this football team. But another win would officially put us in there, wouldn't you say?
Well, I think what you can absolutely positively say is if Clinton plays this way their final 2 games, they will be in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's right.
And, you know, they're so focused this year. I'm sure this game will be forgotten by tomorrow morning. And, you know, Argenta's next up on the schedule. And,
right.
And that's who Clinton will be concentrating on. But you can't say enough about the effort the Maroons put out on the field tonight. You know, you're trailing by 7 points heading into the second half. And Sullivan, I would say, probably won the first half. I think they looked like the better team on the field in the first half. But Clinton sucked it up. They came back, and no excuses either. You know, there were some injuries to some key people on the Maroons over here on the sidelines. And instead of making excuses, they went out and the performance was there. And, you know, 100% credit to the players, the coaching staff, the whole program here for Clinton. It's just a great win. I would suspect Chuck Nagel may say it's one of the top wins in the program's history, at least while he's been there. And the kids, this is a great group of kids. They certainly deserve to revel in this moment for a while.
All right, Cameron, we're going to let you head downstairs and you can talk it over with some of the coaches and players and get some comments for Monday's paper. Thanks for being with us. A reminder to our listeners, we'll have Coach Nagel on tomorrow morning at 9:30 on Coach's Corner on WHOW AM and FM radio. What we're going to do here, let's just pass this along to our engineer back at the radio station. And for TV, we're going to wrap things up right now here for our TV viewers. Hope you enjoyed the video replay here in Clinton Cable TV Channel 7. A terrific ball game, and with the rain falling, a terrific job by our crew down here, Maria and Phil Vanderver, for getting this one videotaped. And hope you enjoyed watching it. On radio, we're just going to take a commercial break here in just a second. A commercial break, and then we'll come back, recap the scoring plays, and then just wrap things up from here. So for now, goodbye from Clinton High School as the Maroons win this one over Sullivan, 28-21.